That's like Corey singing.
That's a Beanie Baby.
Yeah, you were late, so I'm letting you two get a bean preview.
That's my little beanie girl.
If you guys are randomly jumping into the podcast in the
Jumping
random
on in. Heather,
260th episode.
face me. I want to see your eyes when you talk. I know you're like looking at two different things, the camera and then your computer screen. It's
Camera's over there,
discombobulating.
and the notes are over here.
Discombobulating to talk to your ear.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you want me to do.
No, that's fine. I'll get over it.
It's, I've been moving I don't have any furniture in this house, which is the funny part. You'd literally have to sit on the floor. I cannot be convinced.
I've been there in the flesh. I would tell you, if a bachelor life met a bachelorette, that is what my house is. There's
the
one
thing.
chair. I want to explain it. There's one chair that faces the backyard. It is a singular circle chair.
I put it in the basement. It's gone.
I thought there was two. I thought you had two.
They were always intended to be the basement. When the cats got overwhelming, I needed
Okay, the seating limited in the middle floor. There's one giant, tall, skinny table, like a fold-out table.
He's gone too. I cleaned him off.
What?
It's a whole new empty
paperwork on
room.
him, and he was like, where the kitchen table should be was this pile of
Here's the
paperwork.
thing. There was so much paperwork, and I wanted to create a system because I believe that we live and die by our systems of paper organization. Sometimes, though, when I'm overwhelmed with the amount of work, it starts to pile up.
Mm-hmm.
Pile up it did. And on this white table, Corey kept making fun of. So last week, I'm a carrot person. Let me put a carrot in front of myself and I will move heaven and earth. The carrot was this burger from this restaurant I can't seem to shake. The Lee's Burger.
Blue Ridge Grill.
Yeah. So I said, Heather, if you can get this pile of paper gone, you can go to Blue Ridge Grill. So I asked myself, and this kind of has to do with business, what's stopping the progress here? And I said, it's because I don't have Google Drive folders organized. So then I asked myself, does Google Drive need to be organized right now to be able to scan and shred the papers? It does not. So I said, really, if I just have a systematic naming of the scanned files and upload it to a catch-all folder, I can come back and get Drive organized and then file them. So that's what I did. And it was much easier when I sat down and said, what is the roadblock here that's stopping the progress? And is there a way to work around the roadblock? So we moved the roadblock. It is needing to be done, but now it doesn't need to take up physical space.
Yeah, but it was adding to the ambiance of the room because now it's a barren room.
I was like, the house I liked it because it was affordable, but it is a new build home. It was a nice small space, I thought. Like, there's such a thing as, I'm by myself, so there's too much house.
Sure.
So this was like what I thought was like a small apartment with a 2-car garage. That was the vibe I was going for because I don't feel
to me, it's townhousey big. Like I live in a townhouse. And yours is townhouse-esque?
Yes. With a 2-car garage, which is just what I wanted. Really wanted to focus on that. So the siding blew off. I'm on the windiest corner in West Virginia.
You are. I want to tell you guys, it's pummeled.
Tornadoes start here and then they move other places. So the wind was so violent, it blew off the siding. And then because it was a new build home, it had a warranty on it. So I can submit that and they get to decide if they think it's worth fixing on their end. So the guy came and I was like, hey, like I actually found this like piece, I think, of the puzzle of siding in the yard. It's in the living room. Can you come get it? And I'm like, this guy thinks I'm a freak. There's no furniture here. There's just cats.
But wait, I'm trying to remember back. We were just up there, me and my son. You do have chairs at the little countertop, correct?
Mom gave me those and I bought one from the Walmart. I like Walmart. But Mom's like, this is funny. What all of you guys are doing is like, hey, I don't want this anymore, but you could use it. I don't care what you do after you get something to replace it, but just keep it for now.
Yeah, just keep it for now.
Corey had this TV that we actually take to our cookie classes.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't use it. You can use it. But she lost the controller. So
I'm so sorry. I got too organized and I've organized it from myself.
So I got the universal remote off of Amazon. And now me and the cats have been watching.
It's nice.
Betty Broderick documentary called A Woman's Born.
But a TV, a little nice.
A little
right?
nice. Just a
Oh,
little reference point.
just
That's why I moved the
cool.
chair down there. So now
So
the
you
cat
and the
can
cat
sit.
could sit together.
We did not sit together. We sat on individual chairs. Being sat with me. Munch wouldn't want anything to do with me.
If you are wondering what this podcast about, no, it's not home ownership 101.
Believe
And
me,
it's
you
not
wouldn't want to take
interior
a class from
design.
these two.
It's not interior design, let me tell you. It is about baking and marketing your bakery. And we are niche down because this is what I like to do best to sugar cookies. So that's why it's called Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing. We're a group that's on Facebook. If you haven't joined, please do just answer the questions. We will get you in. But it's a great way if you started this podcast from 5 years ago when we first started and listen to this day, you'd have a very efficiently well run business with no blind spots. We have overly talked about the same topics ad nauseum.
I'll say this though. I'll say this. As somebody who follows podcasts for a while, right? Mostly I
Mhm.
find them when they're already successful, so I go back and binge.
Yeah.
Then I do follow the follow along. If suddenly these podcasters stopped, I feel like I lost a little something.
You know, it's not just that we regurgitate the same concepts each week. It's also that they know your siding blew off and you live in a windy part of West Virginia. Like
Give
they've got
me,
to know you just a
give,
little bit better.
give me a parasocial relationship and stick a fork in me. I'm happy.
I love my parasocial relationships,
Who are
and
you
it's
in a
never
parasocial relationship with?
me and Paige on TikTok. She doesn't know I'll watch every single video she ever does. She's just a teacher. She's a teacher in North Carolina. I found her a couple years ago. I
Wait, but
watched
when
every
they
video.
stop posting,
Oh, when she did get into a relationship and stopped posting at the beginning of the year, and I said, "She's gone.
we're gonna
She's
need you two to break up. We need more.
gone."
Yeah, it's something about creating a relationship with somebody who doesn't know you exist, but then you start chuckling about their inside jokes and you're like, oh, I got that reference. And you're like, oh no, it's me. I'm in a parasocial relationship. Okay,
I like them.
you,
I like mine. And
yeah.
anyone who listens to us, I am in a relationship with you. I hope you know we're sisters. You're one of my extended family members. I will see you at the family reunion come July.
We don't do family reunions, but yes,
We're
you guys are
doing
invited.
one now. I got many sisters and
Yes.
brothers that are
Yes.
listening.
Oh yeah, thanks for the reunion. So today's podcast is called Business Weeding, and yes, it does have to do with home ownership because I was weeding the yard. When you buy these like cookie cutter homes that they just throw up in 2 minutes because they're
Yeah.
building the one next to me, they are not. They're just slapping sod on clay. Like I've been trying to get the water to grow. It's not rained at all here.
Get the water to grow
Sorry,
is crazy.
paying for all the water for it to. If I could get water to grow, I'd do that because it's costing me a fortune. I got an email from the water company, and it was like, "Warning, warning! We have not detected a leak, but a massive amount of water is flowing through
Oh,
your
I want
pipes."
to tell you, you got to experience a few high bills and then you'll taper that
Listen,
water
I
right
got
off.
on landscaping Reddit, and they were like, "You have to just swallow the cost if you want the sod to take, but the cost of replacing sod is much higher than
Yeah, and
water."
a
So.
sod gone. Just me. I'm a hand grower of my grass seed. I hand plant. I'm not sure what you guys call that. The sod squares, when a sod square goes, like I'm like, that is
Yeah.
a square of sod.
The neighbors, I met my neighbors and they're very nice, but they're like, you water a lot. And I'm like, and you don't water at all. It's
And
showing.
does it, oh, it's showing.
Yeah, I watched him.
Good
His
to
name is
know. Good to
Francis.
know.
He like did this with the water hose, like bink. And I was like, brother, no. Like, brother, we're at 40
I
minutes.
I did talk to my lawn guy. I get it aerated, something you'll have to do.
I'm so sorry. You went from hand clipping scissors.
I don't have an aerator. I actually used to hand aerate. Do you know how long that takes to poke holes
Oh, I
into the
was
ground?
thinking about it. The manual aerator.
Did it with a poke, like it was a poker.
Did
Boop,
it? How
boop.
long did it take? You have like a 2x2.
No, yeah, but it still took a long time. So that when I said to the next year that took way too long, I'll hire the guy to do the aeration.
Do you think it
It-
did something good?
oh yeah, my grass looks great.
Oh,
I
shoot.
did it last year, and this year the grass looks great.
I bought this on
But
Amazon. I only need to use it once, but I like the little divots between the yard and like the cement, the sidewalk. So I
yes,
bought that and I was pressing back. I was creating a little
I have
fence.
one of those. You should have
Shoot, I
asked.
borrowed dad's and then but I had bought one. I didn't realize he brought one.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, a little edger, a little edgy.
Little
But I wanted to say what he said is when you're watering your grass, you want it to puddle up so you can see the water
I
amongst the
think you were
grass
right.
blades.
I took your advice and I let it puddle. And I said,
Oh,
like, everyone keeps saying just water a lot. And I said, like, how that
yeah.
means
To
so
me,
it's
watering a
relative.
lot is what your neighbor did. You just do a
Right.
little spray over.
Water. Yeah, someone said on Reddit, take a empty tin can for like
Yes.
what do you call it? Tuna?
Yeah.
Empty tuna can, put it outside, and then measure out how many millimeters in that watering time, and that'll tell you the exact amount that you're actually watering,
And
and then compare it from there. Okay, whatever.
he
Let's
said
move on
when,
to the business.
oh, so sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
No, no, he
He
said what?
said, he said when it puddles on top, that means the ground is super saturated, and that's how you know it can't take any more water. So that's why you want to look for the little puddles because it'll continue sucking it down, but you won't overwater and you won't underwater. That was his thing.
Good to know. Well, actually, today's podcast is on landscaping, your business. It's called business weeding. So I was weeding outside and I had noticed the weeds coming in a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks. And I said, I'll get to those. And then I got to those. I was letting the cats play outside, which was like herding cats means something. It means it's
It
hard
does.
to do, right? So I was
Yes.
herding cats and then I was also weeding, which got impossible. I had to throw them inside. The weeds that I'd seen 2 weeks ago have taken root, and they were actually really hard to get out without destroying the plants around them.
Yeah.
They
In the
were also
ground, they
having
make a
babies.
hole.
Yeah, and I was doing this like twisty maneuver to see if I can get the roots to release because everything on the internet's like, if you don't get the roots,
Yeah.
you created a bigger problem. So I was like trying to get these roots. If it's disappointing when the roots didn't come and I just snapped it because I'll never find the base.
Yeah.
When the weeds are now having weed babies. When I went to the weed baby and he was little, he was so easy to pull out, root and all. Like the entire thing was like boop, like, but the bigger weed that had gained some footing and some ground, literally,
Yeah.
he was harder to pull out. So I was thinking while I was doing this, I said this will be such a dumb podcast topic, but it makes so much sense. Is when you do not pick weeds early, you have a major weed problem later.
I love a metaphorical podcast. Are you kidding me?
Okay, well, great, because Corey found today's podcast quote, which I thought was hilarious. It said, "Give a weed an inch, and it will take a yard."
Do you
Get
get
it?
it?
Double
Get
entendre right there.
It's just a
A
tiny thing.
literal
A
play on
yard
words.
is a measurement.
And it is also your yard. So before we jump in, we're Sugar Cookie Marketing. I was just updating the website. So sugarcookiemarketing.com is where you can find a lot of the resources we talk about. Things I want to talk about, what's coming, the Main Street May collab. We have 50 people signed up for that one. That one's one of our harder collabs, but it also is the biggest bang for the buck. Tends to be how life works. The harder it is, the better it pays off.
Yeah.
The video, how to record cookie videos bootcamp is coming. We just wrapped up the 3D printing bootcamp. We'll talk about that in a minute. And the cherry cookie class kit dropped last week. And Corey's already working on the next class kit, which is Summer Ween.
So Marine.
If you saw my countdowns, Corey said, hey, listen, we're tired of your countdowns we've been doing for 5 years. Change them up so they're including what the group has coming, what the Cookie College has coming, and the upcoming holidays. So I retooled that this week. So you
Yeah.
can kind of see when these like collabs are coming because they're free to participate
The biggest thing we heard when the collabs come, I didn't know this was happening. So I said, we gotta tell them high, low, west, north, south, east. Tell them all the time.
I'm gonna tell you what, if you think your marketing is annoying people, it's not. They're not seeing it.
They
Ask
are
Marina.
not seeing it. And that's something even that you're like, wow, I see the twins post every single day. Not everybody does. And people will always say, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know that was going down. If I only knew. And
If
that's
the
what we
vending
have
blending
to do.
teaches us one thing, it's half the people are like, you guys never shut up about it. And the other half is what is the vending blending? So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, moving on to today's topic of weeding out bad behavior. So, kind of behaviors, things that you're doing today that seem innocent, but when the weed takes root, it actually is harder to get rid of than if you just stop it early. So, I'm going to tell you what the bakers in front of you have learned the hard way. So, if you're new to baking or you're just getting started or you've taken a long break and you're back,
Hmm.
weed this out now. Why the little weed root is easy to get because when it
Yes.
takes root and it's really deep in there, it's going to be such a bigger pain. Social media commenting is the first one. How you commented years ago can affect you today. Group comments and posts follow the group profile. Posts last forever. If you write it online, think of how it'll sound if read in court. It's not going to be read in court. But if you think about that, when you go to post that thing or say it that way, you might rephrase it or completely say, you know what, it's not worth it for the reputation of my business.
Yeah, a lot of these people, me and Heather included, have been on social media. And I like to see when you try to join the group, it tells me how long you've been on social media. A lot of people have been on Facebook since 2009.
My original profile, 2009. This one, no.
Yeah.
I do a bit of like I do a bit of a porch with my own profile. Delete the whole thing and disappear. But this
Yeah.
one, this my second profile.
So I in mine, I got booted for spelling gardening hoe incorrectly.
Back on topic.
Yeah, back on topic.
Let me
Uh,
start. Real quick recap. Corey wrote to somebody, "How did you meet your husband?" It was in the sugar cookie marketing group, and it was about 4 years ago. And Facebook said, "What did you just call me?" And Corey
yeah,
got
yeah.
suspended for 30 days. It actually took a lot of my abilities away as well, because I think it looks like we're a duplicate profile.
Yeah, so I had to create a new one. So this one is 4 years old. I just had my celebration of life. So the other one's still out there. If you friend her, she will not respond. I have no
People
access to
are
it.
always like, Heather and Corey Miracle. I was like, ah, that's not her. She's Mira.
When you are like, let's say if you're new to this world and you're still thinking of it as a hobby, or you had a business at one point, close it down, and you're coming back, what you don't know is you have a whole paper trail behind you. Everything you've posted, everything you've commented on. If I search your name just for funsies, it'll pull up things that you've been tagged in, things you've commented on. And what I can see there is I can build a personal profile in my brain of who you are as a person. If you like internet drama and you like mudslinging in the comment section, it's going to pull that up. And that's something that, if you let it grow, if you let the weeds grow, if you never police yourself on social media, can come to bite you in the buns.
I'll say that as Facebook groups are being appreciated on Facebook, not depreciated. So they're growing, they're giving us more
Mhm.
tools. It's also bringing in a lot more of my ability to see what the group member is potentially going to do and what they've done. So
Yeah.
now when you request to join a group, I can see all the groups you're in. I can see how long you're on Facebook. I can see where you live and where any mutuals and things like that. I can see if you have friends who are already in the group, right?
Mhm.
So it seems like the reputation management on Facebook is increasingly becoming more transparent to give group admins more of a visibility of what your likely actions will be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What's
when
so
Facebook
crazy?
first came around, it was like
Oh,
post whatever, nobody can see anything.
yeah.
Now
And
it's
people
like
had,
when I
go
pull up
ahead.
profiles since the rebrand, they did some tweaking with profiles. I can see how many times you posted to your own page, your own
Yeah.
profile ever since
Yeah.
ever. So that track record is still there. It's still there.
And
So
it's so funny now. AI is pulling up things about people. If I see a post online, it'll. If I search myself, like I looked at my marketplace, my Facebook marketplace profile, and AI is like, "Do you want us to give you a synopsis of Corey?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." It was like she likes to sell home
no
stuff.
way.
Yeah, it's she likes to sell home stuff. She's posted just a few times on her personal profile. It still is pretty active. She's posted in the last few
So
months. Is what?
reputation management, I'll say this. This would be brazen, I guess. You tell me if it's a bad take. If you have a history of violence, mudslinging, attacks, and assaults on Facebook, it might be worth it to create a new profile, which would violate the terms of service. So you'd almost have to delete the old one. But then you
No,
have the other battle of creating that profile to look genuine because you've got to build it back up again.
I always say to me and Heather, what's the end goal? My end goal on social media, honestly, I wouldn't be on social media if I wasn't a business on social media. I'm trying to make more cookie sales. So you'll see on my personal profile, while it is got some personal things on there, it's not much. It's always trying to tie it back to cookies in some form or fashion. My work history, it says cookies. My website, it's my cookie website. My banner image says something about cookies because my goal is to make more money on social media through cookie orders.
You know what I
I don't,
don't see Corey doing? Ever
yeah.
arguing in a community group. I never see you there.
No, you won't see it because not the fact that even if I separated myself from and I took that my bakery off of my work history, I changed my banner image and I hid all the shares of my cookies from that. Just them being able to search Corey will see a comment in a Facebook group where I tagged my company because someone was looking for a local baker. Like it's not that hard to connect the two, and people are doing it all the time. If you get in an argument with somebody and they have the time in their day and they have you in their sights, that is a recipe for a weed disaster.
Mm. So weed it out now. Self-correct your behavior on Facebook. One of the biggest perpetrators of this issue, and I always get that email saying, "Hey Heather, I've got a problem. I got into a political argument in a group and now they've taken it and they're
Yeah.
running through." And I think people have this like thing, well, I'm going to say something here, I'm going to stand up for something. When you have a business that gets a majority of its leads from Facebook, you do not have the same platform as somebody with nothing to lose.
Yes. Yeah. And I find myself like if I wanted to comment something that maybe was just an alternative opinion, just someone said, I hate this business and I like clap back and be like, have you even gone there? So and so is great. Like I even find myself hesitating getting in a fight with somebody just because we don't know how much time they have on their hands. If they belong to bigger groups that they can showcase, and this is where bakers, I've seen it happen, where they posted something political in a small group and somebody's taken that to a larger group, and then that larger group has onslaughted their business page.
We were
That's
talking about this with my little sister. So I'm not sure if it's as prevalent if you guys don't realize it, but these nicknames and the nickname profiles, the admin can always see who you are. There's no anonymity. There's no true anonymity. So my little sister's like, oh, I didn't realize with a nickname, it actually creates a nickname profile for you in the group. So you can actually scroll back and see what that person's done in the group as a nickname. So
yeah.
if you wouldn't say it with your mama there and a lawyer and a judge, don't write it if you have something to lose, if you're listening to this, you have a business. I see people try to do this where they remove everything about their business from their Facebook profile. It is still impossible to separate the two.
It is. And it's just a quick search will pull up that like a comment you made on a post and then I can scroll through the comments and see where you tagged your business. Like
Uh-huh.
it's they're there. It is intertwined,
And people
regardless
figure it
if you
out.
think like you've like hidden it. And so if you wanted to, you're a weed right now, pick your little weeds before if you're like, I really want to start marketing more on social media, here's your weed picking, your baby weed picking is to go back through the groups, search your name in that group and then go delete those comments. If you're like against deleting your whole profile, just go in where you mudslung a little bit, where you were maybe a little off, delete those. Just remove them from the surface of the internet. The post is probably done, been gone, buried, and you're not missing out on anything there.
Don't leave a group and then rejoin thinking that'll clean it up. The comments in the post still follow. The posts follow
Mhm.
forever. The comments follow for 30 days.
Yeah.
However, the comments can always be dredged up when you do search, especially with groups switching from private to public, which is an
Oh, and
insane.
now all these groups that I'm in are switching to public. I hate it. I
Hate it.
had it.
Hate
I
it.
had it.
Point number two, mishandling order intake, no paper trail. When you take orders haphazardly, which you would start doing to get to secure the orders early when you're getting started, the small weed, there's no single reference point like an inbox where you can organize that order. You'll forget an order. It's not if, it's when. So I saw somebody yesterday and they were like, hey, I took an order. I took it where shouldn't have. I really wanted to do the order and I forgot a bunch of details. And now we got a problem. So
Yeah.
a small weed is, well, I need orders, so I'm going to take any of them anywhere. That creates the big weed of, but I forgot one. I'm about to get a bad review. What should I do?
Yeah, I want to say, and I've been where this person is, that you're a baker. You're really trying to market your business. You don't have a ton of leads coming in, so you don't feel overwhelmed in the moment to take them via text. Your friend at church might have mentioned them. You got a DM on Facebook, and you're like, no, I can handle this. It isn't so bad. As your business grows, and as your number gets out into the world and as people DM you more and more, that's when it becomes the issue. That's where your weed actually grows and becomes overwhelming. You start forgetting things because you're doing the work, you're marketing, you're getting business out there, you're going to make more business, you're going to get more business. And that's the issue is when you are overwhelmed, when you were at, your kid's soccer game, someone DM'd you because they wanted to change the name on the cookie and you totally forgot because you were busy. That's why having one specific place where they can, and Heather has covered this in the forms course we did on the pre-sale course, is a great way for you to stay organized so you don't have that issue.
Yeah, even those comments you used to make in a Facebook group, I hate making posts in Facebook groups. I don't want people to be mean to me. And if the admins are absent, people tend to find a way to be snarky, even for the most benign of questions. So
Yes.
what I'll do is I'll search the group to find the referrals for a post I don't want to make, right? So if I'm like, oh, I want to hire a sugar cookie baker, I'll search the group find a thread where somebody else asks a question and look
Yeah.
there. And if you initially started by telling people, hey, just send me a message on my personal profile and we can handle it, I'd go back and almost edit that comment or delete it completely as well if you have time on your hands to burn.
Yeah. A great thing that I've started doing in the last couple of years is on my notes app. I have a whole notes app and it'll be a long form sales post, short form sales post, personal sales post, comment sales post. And that allows me to copy and paste the information that someone would need if they wanted to make an order, which always starts on my website. So I can have that there just ready to go. So I'm never leaving it out, never saying DM me for more info because I'm busy. Like maybe I'm in the school pickup line, my son's talking to me.
He doesn't talk much, so it shouldn't happen
Yeah.
often.
So if he is talking, I will have to listen.
On Android users, Android user here, you can create, they're called text shortcuts, and I'll make them with a long form text. So I always make it so if it has like when somebody says, how can I switch my plan within the cookie college? I type CCCHANGE. So change with three C's. And when I know it has the three C's, it triggers that text shortcut that explains to them exactly how to do it. So you can set those up in your settings. I do address AAADDRESS, and it triggers my address. So I don't have to type it out all the time.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's a great way. What you don't want to do is say yes to every form or fashion to take a lead. And it feels natural to do that because you're like, I'm just glad someone wants to buy from me. What you want to do is make it one, it's going to be easier on the end user. It's a more professional experience on their ends. If Messenger goes down, which we did discover that a couple years ago, Facebook went down for about 8 hours. People could not access the information. And just having it in a spot that you can reference back is a great way, a paper trail. So you know that they had the name change, you know that the color scheme, you know that they wanted this cookie that they didn't want originally. So that is a great way.
Something also I like with the paper trail is that if you're forcing him into definitely a website, or let's say you're really good and you're dialed in on a CRM, is you can see when somebody returns. If you're used to taking those through Messenger, one, Messenger is always glitchy and never works right.
Yes.
But let's say somebody returns and they return through a different avenue. If you originally took it through Messenger, it's going to be next to impossible unless you have a phenomenal memory to recall their first order and see that they are a recurring client and have rapport with them.
Yeah. Or you do, or you're like, you don't have a good memory. So you keep the old chats, but then you lose a chat that you actually needed and you can't find it because you baked for 20 Sarahs in the last 5 years. And
Mhm.
you're like, then I see the bakers go to their Facebook page and they're like, if your name is Sarah, I don't have a last name. You have an order on the books
Yeah.
for your 4-year-old. I'm going to sneeze. So please take over.
I love that. We're gonna let her sneeze, but you have to sneeze when you quiet it. I think Zoom muted you, but it was there.
Oh,
She
sorry.
sneezed, guys. So we made
Bless me. Bless me.
Zoom's ability to edit out like
It's
surround noise
fantastic.
is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, point three, pricing to make the sale. This is a small weed that makes a ton of sense until it becomes a big bad weed. So it says this breeds bad client behavior and really awkward conversations. You start off incredibly low, but when the client returns expecting the same magically low price, you sticker shock them. This makes a ton of sense as to why we initially start this way, because a couple reasons. Our skill set's lower, so our price should be lower, right? Our hourly rate is lower, so it's able
Yeah.
to translate to a lower price. But oftentimes the intention is to price so low that you undercut the next guy to secure the lead.
When me and Heather first entered this industry, I do say, I'm going to pat you on the back here, pat myself. The biggest thing that we saw in cookie groups before sugar cookie marketing existed was people said, look around and find the lowest price baker and do $1 less.
Because you are new. It was a lot of the reason because you're new, you should be the lowest. I disagree. Your prices are set by ingredients cost and labor cost. However, your labor cost is lower because you're not as skilled. Right.
Yes.
You
So a
might,
lot of people price all over the planet, up, down, high, because they don't know the cost of ingredients or the time. So they're actually pricing not for the health of their business, but for the chance at a sale. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing that's going to close you up faster or lead to burnout than just pricing for an idea that maybe potentially would result in a sale versus pricing for profit.
right. Because initially, kind of when we started this, that mantra of find the cheapest and charge lower, less. The issue is you're actually working at a loss per sale, which will put you in financial ruin faster than an ant in your
Oh.
macaron gel.
It's a race to the bottom, especially if we see, it's natural that people who maybe are stay-at-home moms would start a bakery business because they're naturally at home. So it makes sense to tell everyone to always price lower than the person next to you. We are then going to get to $10 a dozen and we are going to hate this and we're going to quit.
Yeah, the market, the invisible hand of the market will always self-correct that because the person will be like, I'm not making any money. This is costing me time and angst. Also, when you're the lowest price, you do get more leads because who doesn't want the best baker at the lowest price,
Absolutely.
right? So you get those types of leads that are like, I'm not here for a good time. I'm here for a long time. I'm going to make your life hell because I want to make sure my $10 is spent well. So
Yes.
there's a different
Yeah.
type of lead. You remember I told you my friend Mike, who works in IT, they provide server infrastructure for medium to small to medium sized businesses. And he said it's funny, the company paying us 15,000 a month is so much easier to work with than the company paying us 1,500 a month. The 1,500 is a big portion of that company's budget, whereas the company with margin, the 15,000, we're just here to make problems go away.
Yeah, and I want you to know that if you get someone at a lower price point just to make the sale, and then they stick with you and you raise the price on them and they're willing to stick with you, the amount of pressure you will feel from them is so much higher because what was $10 and now is $20, that means it's twice as big a deal on there. And because you raised your prices where they saw maybe the value at $10, they're not seeing the value at $20. So they become a nightmare client. And me and Heather, wash, rinse, repeat. We've done that many times in our marketing company. We're like, well, we'll give them extra stuff for a lower price because it'll make them happy. No, it makes them
It
demanding.
it always bites me in the bun cheeks. It never was like a great strategy, not one time. It never, I was like, that was good. That was a good thing we did there. That really paid off in the long run. I lived for 6 years directly next to the Wegmans. It was my closest neighbor. And then for the 4 years prior, I lived within driving distance of 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
I saw Wegmans had this salad. I loved it. It was just a regular salad and it had the little balls of cheese. What are those called?
Mozzarella ball.
Mozzarella balls. And then I had pine nuts, which I know people with allergies are screaming right now. Apparently, that's like the most allergy laden nut. Anyways, I really liked the salad. It was $4. It was delectable. And it had like a vinaigrette. I would go and get it all the time. Over the 10 years, this salad doubled in price. So it went up to 8 to the point where I think it was finally at over double digits, over 10. But I had known it to be a $4 salad.
Yeah.
I'd fallen in love with it as a $4 salad. To see it reach the double digits, having known what it was originally costed at, I never bought it again. So
Yeah, because the value was no
you look
longer
so
there. You
different
only,
without glasses on. I don't think I ever see you without glasses on. You look like
hey,
me.
hi.
Yeah, because I'd fallen in love with it at a cheap price. When it raised, all I could see was the injustice of the price. Not that it had actually become a
Yeah.
fairly priced salad. I saw it as an overpriced salad.
So how you would translate it is you get the customer at $10 a dozen. They're not super picky, but you raise your prices because your business can't constitute $10 a dozen. Unfortunately, what they no longer see is the value in the $20
They're
dozen. They
not
say,
growing with you. Let me tell
no,
you that. They're not like, you know what? I did get a steal from me before. You deserve this. Some
yeah,
people, but the large majority of people, it's really hard to break away from price anchoring.
yeah. Yeah, it really is. And we actually had, there was a lady in the sugar cookie marketing group who had posted that she raised her prices and that she is seeing a decline in her orders. And she's wondering, should she go back to the lower price? The thing is, you've grown your audience off the lower price. So when you just raise the prices and there isn't necessarily the value for, like, hey, and I'm using vanilla bean paste now, and here's the price of vanilla bean paste. And that's why, if you're raising it because your skills have gotten better, it's hard for the person who paid less to be like, I can justify that and pay more. So you'll see a fall off from people who can't justify that price increase, Heather at the Wegmans. But
Right.
then what Wegmans is focused on is no longer Heather. Heather is not their ideal client. Wegmans' job is to market to a new clientele who wants a fresh salad at $10.
Let me tell you guys, it ain't worth it. It was a delectable salad. It should have been more than $4. But I cannot help myself
Yeah.
to say
Yeah.
that it's
You see,
overpriced.
you do yourself a disservice trying to make the sale just out under the floor of other bakers around you. At the end of the day, run your business however you want, run it into the ground for all I care. But what you want to do is, if you want to do this long term, is know your pricing, price it fair to yourself and fair to your customers, so you don't have to pull out the rug from under them when you realize you've priced just for sales and not for profit.
Your price should be lower if you're new because your labor costs are lower. And you may think, but Heather, it's taking me just as much time. Yeah, but your skill set is less. So the same way you would hire a really seasoned carpenter or a
Yeah.
carpenter handyman who got started yesterday, their labor rates are going to be different, even though it may take the same amount of time. This guy is new, this guy is skilled, right? And he will be
Yeah.
skilled one day. That's where your prices would differ. But I think a lot of times we're just saying, let me charge the least, forget what all the rates are. Corey, we have a Zoom meeting before this meeting so we can prep for the podcast. Corey started off with that her driver insurance. Who is it again?
Right. Progressive.
Progressive lowered her rate, which rarely happens. She was ecstatic. She just did all the math. She saves this much money a year. It's so fantastic. She was going to switch. Here's a change. What's going to happen is Progressive is going to raise her rate again. But she is not going to be like, oh, this is what it was. She's going to say, that's not fair. I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
Even though she was
Yes.
fine with paying this price, they've given her a discount. She's ecstatic. They're going to raise it again
If
as
they
they
raise it
do.
again, I will be more dissatisfied. Well, when I did get the chip in my windshield, it was a hassle to get someone out to fix it. I'm going to not say, wow, you know what? They actually
They were
deserve
really
it.
fair to me when they lowered the
I
price.
know. No, that's not how it works. And people are people, and that's how we work, especially if there's no, I'm not, cousins with Mr. Progressive. I'm not going to be like, well, I really want the best for Mr. Progressive. Progressive, I'm just a number to it. It's just a number to me. So when the value doesn't equal how much I'm paying, you're going to see me go to Elephant Insurance and try to find something, or Liberty and try to find something a little
I
cheaper.
saw on Reddit one. It was I'm going to slaughter her Instagram handle. Atlanta Bakes, ATL Bakes, which in my head is Atlanta.
Yeah.
She was a Liberty cookie maker, and she heard the podcast, and she's like, "It's so funny. I know I did those." So she went and found the ad, and was
Yeah,
like, "Those are my cookies."
it's a emu, emu.
The
It's an
Limu Emu.
the
I
llama
saw
emu.
on Reddit, or maybe it was on TikTok. I don't know, it was Instagram, and it was like, no one has committed to an unfunnier bit than Liberty Biverty.
Someone
But
said someone said Geico in the comments section. And it was just a picture of what is
lizard,
he?
the
The
gecko.
lizard man. Yeah,
If you go back to the original Geico Gecko commercials, he didn't know how to speak. It was just a confusion that they thought Geico was spelled gecko. Now he's like this eloquent speaker.
someone
He was
says,
a gecko at the
why
beginning.
do insurance company market so hard when it's something we're required to have?
Who's the one? And I saw the rest of the comments on that video. The one with the like mayhem, like me.
Oh yes. What is he? He actually came from
Yeah, I've seen him.
SVU.
He's an extra guy in
I-
everything ever
yeah.
made. um,
It's
uh,
crazy that you only remember him and not who he is actually promoting.
yeah. How about are you in good hands? Dude, that's all.
Isn't that guy who's also
He's in other things too, but it's
yeah.
Allstate. And then you got
Yes.
the one, the progressive girl. The
Yes.
I
I
forget.
saw her little docu series about like how
Yeah,
she hated progressive, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
same, ditto. Me too.
Okay, so pricing to make the sale. Point four, boundary setting. Not setting boundaries is actually giving people private permission. And this is something I gotta get rid of the cat. You are banished. Goodbye.
Boundaries in your business are so important. And when you're starting out in your business or you feel a lull in your sales, coming J months are approaching, you're going to say, let me bend my boundaries to make a sale, to, accommodate this person so they're more apt to buy from me. I want to tell you, the little weed with the short little root system, that's easy to correct. You can create some nightmare clients. Ask me how I know.
This is so not setting a boundary is actually giving a private permission. This is what I keep having to tell myself. I had an issue with these two cats. Okay, I'm not the best cat owner, so I did get to, and I like to call it the AI, so I sound like a boomer. I got to
Yeah.
the AI, and I was like, hey, I'm having this issue. And it was like, when your big cat meows, stop responding immediately. And I'm like,
Yes.
but that means, and I was like, no, no, you've just trained the cat that meowing gets something from you. So it's
Yeah.
like not, so it's like when you do that, you're saying yes, but when you don't do that, you're saying no. So in my mind, not saying no, like I'll be like, they'll know that it's a no, right? They'll, no, 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 they just email twice as hard. So
Yes.
not setting a boundary is setting a boundary in the other direction, right? So not saying no is saying yes.
You're changing. You're like, no, I'm not bending my mouth. You've made a new bad boundary for yourself.
The cat meows at the garage door constantly, and now he meows at the front door because he likes to go outside.
Yeah.
He does not get any quieter when I don't get up. He doubles his volume.
Yeah, but you would think like, oh, I'll just know Heather has trained him, and we train our clients with how we treat them, what we allow them to do.
Right.
It was so funny. Someone asked for custom cookies and they messaged my business page. My business page has an autoresponder that says you want to make an order, blah. But in the comments of the group, when I commented to her, I said, just email me at blah. That's how I can keep myself organized. She bypassed that and just went to my messenger. And in the messenger, I had to say, hey, just a quick reminder, just email me. And she's probably like, you crazy old
You're
woman.
here. We
You're
gotcha.
here. Just quote me now. But it wasn't. That's not the boundary is to keep both of us safe. So I don't forget her order because that's not typically where I take orders. But also, she can follow through. If you do want the cookies, it's just email away.
Yeah. So one thing in my head, this is how my brain works. Like, surely the cat sufficed that we went
Yeah.
out already once today. So he'll respect my no. No,
No,
he was twice as frustrated if we didn't go out again. So I
I'm
think sometimes we're like, if I do you a favor, you'll remember that when I say no. Absolutely not. That's not how the brain works.
Here's a thing that I've done with my dog. My dog turned 10 last week, so we've been through it for a decade now. I used to bring him a piece of cheese at the end of the night before I went to bed, but then he
Corey's
started
created her own
expecting it.
hill.
Yeah, he started expecting it. So he wouldn't go to bed. He would look at me until he got a piece of cheese. So now it's a variable reward system. Sometimes I come up with cheese, sometimes I don't. Now he can't expect it. He doesn't know when he's getting it. So if you can't just do the hard cold, like cold no, you could do the variable reward that sometimes he meows, he gets it, sometimes he doesn't.
That creates an addict.
That's my dog is addicted to me.
They say, and I love the rat in a trap. They put a rat in a trap with it was in a bin or whatever cage, and they had a lever. And one rat, when he hit the lever, a treat would come out. One rat, when he hit the lever, nothing would happen. And one rat, when he hit the lever, was intermittent reinforcement of a variable reward system where it would come out sometimes. The
Yeah.
first rat who always got the treat only hit the lever when he was hungry. The second
Yeah.
rat who did not get anything stopped hitting the lever like nearly immediately. And the variable reward rat went 100 times more than the other two.
Yeah, that's my dog. That's my dog and a piece of cheese.
I went to Corey's house the other day and the dog's like, "Are you a weak link as well?" Absolutely, I am. Come right on here.
He'll say please. I trained him how to say please with a whisper. So it's honestly him just opening his mouth and he looks like he's going to bite you, but it's him saying please. And if you say please, he will say please in a whisper.
He
But he
just
will,
closes his mouth real fast. That's all it's like.
yeah. So you're like, he looks like he's hungry or eating something. There's nothing in his mouth. He's saying please. So you can say please and he'll say please, but now he just says say please to anybody. He'll please anybody. If
If
you
you look at him
come
long
in,
enough, he's like, "Let me just shut my mouth real quick, see if something
yeah,
happens."
let me try please on this person.
And I go in there, I'm like, "Oh yeah, you said please. I didn't even ask. Here's a treat." So again, that's an easy weed to pluck when it's little, but and that's why we come to it so often is because a lot of the complex issues asked in Sugar Cookie Marketing Group regarding client relations were born from a boundary not set years ago.
And I would tell you, you never at the beginning years ago say, this is going to bite me in the butt later. No, it feels natural and it feels good. I'm being accommodating to this client. So they're going to buy from me and they're going to recommend me to other people. That's so natural. I can't even fault you for it. The problem is the years down the road where you're like, I'm kind of hating this customer and they've been here since, and I don't know how to break up with them.
Right. I have to keep telling myself, I said this over these cats, just meowing, 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 because they're upset because I've changed my consistency habits with them. And I had to say out loud, saying yes is actually the most disrespectful thing to do here because I'm going to hate them and then they're going to be frustrated with me.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
saying no is the best thing for all the parties involved. We'll all have a better experience if there's a boundary that's clearly communicated versus no boundary that's communicated and you hate me behind my back. I would hate to be the client where people roll their eyes before I get there. Like you give me what I want, but you hate to see me coming, and then you love to watch me leave. Just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Literally.
so funny. As a mom of one and me and you being twins, I always wondered what twindom would be like. And you are now a mom of two cats.
Hell on
And
earth
I can
there.
see you are growing resentful to the louder one.
What I did, okay, the Jackson Galaxy method is going to be my twin twist, but I'll talk about it then. But I separated the two cats this week. And they're meowing at their respective doors, right? They have plenty of toys and food and sustenance. They just want to be where they
With
should.
you.
But I said, I'm the boss. And what's respectful is drawing the line in the sand, the boundary, and knowing that, oh, you get time out, you get time in. And it caused me a lot more peace.
It did.
I'm day
But
two of
then
the
you
peace.
even said you had to go to a Thai restaurant to escape your cats on Sunday.
The
They've
the
driven you
Jackson
out of
Galaxy
your
method started Monday.
home.
Yeah, I said Sunday. Whoa. Yeah, Monday we got to change something because I'm not having a good time. I even asked Corey, like, do you want to count?
Yeah, Heather was like, "Hey, which one do you think is cuter?
I
Which
said,
one do you
wow,
like?"
Archer picked the one that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, I know.
Point five. I actually saw this asked about in a different variation yesterday in the sugar cookie marketing group, but it was friends and family discount. Discounting for friends and family early on without communicating that is that it's a discount. You got to communicate that, or giving your friends and family orders for free can create long-term expectations and underpricing for cookies. When you finally feel justified in charging the appropriate amount, it can be seen as greedy.
Yeah, yeah. It's so common. Your friends and family do want to be your biggest supporter. But when there are friends and family, us as bakers, we'll be like, wow, thanks for supporting me. Here's a discount, or I'll bake it for free, or I'll bring this to the event. I was already going to it. And then you are in a hostage situation, especially with people with big families, a lot of extended family members around them. They might not know what goes into cookie baking. They're not around you all the time. So for them to assume that you can bring 24 cookies in short notice to their kid's baptism, it's going to make you resent your family.
Corey has created this issue for herself, whether or not she realizes it. Initially, you would take families' orders first and move them up front, and then you would never ask for money, which ended up they all came to me and said, "What should I pay?" Like, and I was like, "Well, here's what the rate is." And they're like, "Oh, that's so much more expensive. I wouldn't have ordered that many." And I'm like, "Listen, she didn't charge you, so now you guys got an awkward set. You guys have to talk about it." My cousin does it when he details cars. Kim and Corey will have this like they'll come to me. How much do you think I
Yeah.
should pay? Should I tip? How much do you think I should charge her? I was like, you guys should have set this before this happened. Now you guys always come to me with weird questions, like the
Now, I
rate.
mean, because Heather has moved out since, he'll be like, does this sound good? And I was like, only if I can tip this much on
Right.
top of it.
What I would say, what I would do is if you want to do your friends and family a solid, instead of ever doing anything for free or moving to the front of the line, say that guys, absolutely. Book through my booking system. It helps
Yeah.
me stay on top of this. I don't want to let your order fall through the cracks at all. But I always say friends and family, 15% discount. That's my gift to you guys. So that way you have a set expectation
Yeah.
that's a percentage discount. They feel like they got something. They're still going through your order form, but you don't have that like, when are you going to pay? Well, when are you going to ask to pay? How much are you going to pay? Well, I don't know how much you're charging. Oh, it's that the full price. You're doing me a sale. What Corey will do was like, you made it awkward for Ash. He'll be like, pay what you feel. I hate that.
It's
I
because
feel like paying nothing.
Ashley feels like it's a service-based business where she needs to tip on top of that. And I was like, I want to tell you, the world ain't tipping sugar cookie bakers like you think you are. You're just an over tipper. Ashley also goes outside of my form when she knows it's booked. She's like, your form looked booked. I just wondered, can you take this order?
And that's because
Ignorant.
initially Corey didn't have a form, which you
Yeah.
typically don't. So that's why we're saying start when these
Right.
weeds are little, pluck them then, because when they get the root system, it's really hard. And it always leads to that awkward conversation. And then you have hurt feelings because they're not going to say, like, this feels like you're charging too much. That would be rude to you. So they're just going to say it behind your back.
What's so funny, and we don't have a giant family, but I made cookies for my dad when he used to go to his office, and the cookies were for his clients. It was funny. I went to this event that they had, and some of his workers, like his employees, were eating the cookies because my dad spent $0 on them. He didn't see the value behind getting these into the client's hands. So these workers are
He's
like,
like,
these are
food,
pretty good.
food in the break room.
So I was like, oh, okay, this took me like literally 10 hours of my life to make these. because they didn't see the value behind them, I never charged it for them.
Corey and I, when we were in high school, I don't know why we washed the car so often. I guess we just had nothing to do. It was before the internet was popular, and we also
It
lived in a
was.
rural part of Northern Virginia, so we had to have that internet by satellite, which
Yeah,
was
the moon dish or something.
whatever, facing the north sky. Don't matter where that thing faced, you weren't getting online. And then my parents had a ton of rules. So we really just twiddle our thumbs. God forbid we practice playing the piano. We would wash the cars. But
We
my
did.
mom would always have a clean car. So that she had no incentive not to run through a puddle to the point where I'd be like, can you please try to avoid that puddle that we're just careening towards? This is
Yeah, because
literally my life.
she didn't value it. Even my husband, when I mop the floors, they just track all the stuff. And when he mops the floors, he's like, "Be careful, I just mop." Yeah, because you find the value in it.
So charging is a respectful thing to do. It does convey value. It does make the people appreciate the cookies more because they're in it. So if you want to do a standard discount when you first get started, be like 15% off. That means it grows with your rates, but
Yeah.
they feel like they still got something.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to let that weed grow and then Cheryl at the next family picnic's like, well, excuse me. I thought I was helping you out by ordering from you and now I don't like you and I'll never order your
Uh-huh.
cookies again. That's what we don't want. A weird
Uh-huh.
family reunion where they hire someone else who's cheaper and now you're offended. They're
That's
offended.
always the other side of it. They end up finding somebody else, and you're like, but they're my family, which I see is another question. These weeds grow so big, and then you're like, hey, I noticed my auntie hired somebody else. It hurt my feelings. Should I bring it up?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
wow, see how awkward it gets?
Yes.
Final
Yeah.
one, the donation issue. Charitable donations can be an awesome way to support your community, but without communication of upfront expectations. And I came up with this. You can grow a needy weedy, a
A
needy weedy.
needy weedy. Here's the thing.
Someone who is constantly hitting you up for more and more free or discounted product, which would make sense. Can you
Yes.
talk while I use the restroom real quick? I've had five
Yeah,
hiccups.
you're
Okay.
so crazy. Donations are huge, especially if you're trying to grow your business. You're trying to get your business out into the community. Donations just seem like a natural way to do that. You're making the cookies, you're trying to practice. So, donating the ones instead of tossing them are a huge way that you can grow your bakery business. You can get into the feeds and lives of other people. It's a natural thing. The problem with donations is sometimes you create needy, weedy, donation, greedy people, and they keep coming you back to you for donations. And you never set up a clear and concise boundary with them or expectations. What you want to do is if you want to take donations, and I do donations throughout the year too, is ask them, where can I just ask? I'm trying to also grow my business while doing donations. Is there a Facebook page that you'll be posting to? Is the PTA going to have a QR code with my information on it that people could scan? Can I leave business cards there so that I can grow my business during this? When you just do donations and you never follow up, you never find out, you're going to find that people are so busy in their lives, they're no longer worried about you. They're worried about whatever the next donation is. So you'll see that you give the donation, you feel unthanked, unappreciated.
Are you telling them your own
So
experience?
unthanked. Here's the thing: the people I donate to have my QR code on a laminated thing. So every time I donate, that card is out there. I also give them business cards that they can send out there too. Not saying I necessarily get a ton of business from that, but if I'm going to donate to someone, I need it to benefit me as well. So that's a great way to do it. When you can track some things and you can have your QR code, they're shouting you out on social media, they're posting you in the local groups. That's a win-win. So your donation is technically paying you back. The problem is when you don't do that and then they take your donation, you never hear back, you never hear thank you. They've never posted on your social media, but they come knocking at your door 4 or 5 times throughout the year. You actually grow resentful towards them and it
Mm,
creates an awkward situation. How do you break up with them?
I
Because
read
you're mad.
this. Sorry, go ahead. Didn't
No,
mean
go
to-
ahead.
Resentment is an indicator that a conversation wasn't had.
Mm, mm,
And it's awkward to have the
amen.
conversation because you're hoping people read your mind, but we weren't mind readers. Are you hot or cold? Did it rain yesterday?
It poured.
It didn't rain here at all.
Oh,
It
it
poured from
downpoured.
the water bill specifically.
You would appreciate the rain that we had. I was hot. I had my heater going, so I've turned it off.
It's
I
cold.
get approached the longer you're in business, it's natural for people to come and ask for donations. I was at the orthodontist appointment for my son yesterday, and someone was asking the orthodontist to support their swim team. It is natural. Like someone's going to ask you to donate, and it's how you have that initial conversation that's going to set the tone if this is a good thing or a bad thing for your business. It is okay to ask them where you'll be mentioned. If you're mentioned in a flyer, the newsletter, if they're going to post you in social media, if they're going to actually shout you out in this local community group that you're trying to grow.
I
Those are
like
great things
that.
to
I'd
ask.
word it this way. Oh, yeah, I'd love to take that. I can actually borrow from my marketing budget if you guys could help me market. What do you think that sounds like? That way, it
Yeah.
sounds like we're in this together. It's me and you against my budget.
Yeah, teamwork. Because the thing is, if you're just like, yeah, I can donate, then there's no bottom of the bucket. So Heather's saying that she's pulling from her marketing budget, says, there's a finite amount of money in the
Mm.
marketing budget, and you're helping me do that. So the next time, maybe it won't be a good lineup for you, or you're busy, or you're working on orders. When they come, you'll be like, you know what? I'm actually tapped out for my marketing budget this month or this quarter, and you can have a sweet breakup, new expectations with them.
Mhm. Again, this is all easier to do before the weed gets roots. What happens when you do the donation at the beginning of your business because you feel guilty or you feel that you should or you feel like it's right, you'll get frustrated the 50th time they ask. But
Yeah.
they make a natural thing. I always see around Teacher Appreciation Week, the big ask. Like, does anybody want to donate 500,000 cookies for the teachers here? But like, I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, some baker probably was asked that directly and had to say no, and now it's like crowdsourcing it.
Yeah. Once I've learned over the years that I've done donations, when someone asks you to donate, they're leaving it open-ended because the more you volunteer, the less they have to do. So I like to do something that's a lot of easier. I can do 2 dozen mini cookies. I can do 1 dozen this. That mini cookies aren't free. They do take time, but it's a lot easier on the designs. But saying what I can do and then being like, here's some other bakers that maybe are looking to grow their business. You could go. So a lot of times it's a bunch of bakers that maybe are tagged in the same post because we all went in on it. There's
Mhm.
probably like 100 teachers at a public school around here, with the staff and the admin. It's too much for one person to bake, but a lot easier for to break down and have, a bunch of people donate.
We could spend the rest of our lives talking about the small weeds that grow into big business weed problems. But just to recap the 6 points we wanted to cover, social media, commenting, social media reputation is a big one. It's becoming more and more of an issue. Mishandling order intakes as no paper trails created, then you have the frustration or the forgetfulness, which always leads to that awkward conversation. Then you have point three was pricing to make the sale, especially when you're getting started, underpricing to snag the lead, and then having the issue when you charge appropriately. Point four, boundary setting. If not saying no is technically saying yes, and you're training your audience to, and it makes it awkward for everybody. Point five, friends and family discount, and then point six, that donation issue that creates a needy weedy.
I want to say, ne'er in my days have I had so many awkward moments than it was creating a business. A business is going to put you in an awkward moment no matter how hard you try to avoid them. It is going to happen. Like someone said, it was awkward. She ordered these cookies from me, paid full price, but then she was like, "Hey, I want to order next year around this time. Is it discounted if I order a bunch of the same designs?" But I was like, "Nowhere did it ever say that when you ordered the first time." But I was like, "Wow, we're gonna have an awkward moment."
But I think we got to see people as my exes. They're just asking to see if there's a potential for it. Tell me yes,
Sure,
tell me no, but at least I asked. I don't know if you guys want to hear the resolution. In December last year, I got my car washed at the mall car wash, and it's
she
like they
did.
did not bend over and clean the bottom half of the car. So much that I had to clean it the next morning. I reached out, no response. I reached out again, no response. I reached out to corporate, then I get a response saying, "Hey, bring it in, we'll rewash it." And they made specifically the poor front desk girl who was in charge. I think she was a manager, but she's younger than me. They made her deal with it. We could tell she had a lot of chagrin. And
Yes.
I didn't want to escalate it, but I didn't feel that it was right. Right. So
The
unfortunately,
let me just
Corey,
the wash is not cheap. So that's
no,
why Heather felt chagrined.
it's a normal car wash. It's like how I'd wash my own car. It's just extremely expensive because they do it while you're at the mall.
Yeah.
Extremely expensive in what I see that I can wash the car the same way.
And then you get the best spot in the
You do.
house.
So there is some benefits to it. However, not washing the car after I paid for it just didn't sit right.
Yes.
And so then Corey made me finally go in. I was never going to go get it rewashed, but Corey made me go on Saturday this past week. And
I
what I said, and they did just a phenomenal job. Because Corey's
yes.
like, if they don't wash the car again, neither of us are ever going to go back. I said, but if they wash the car again, they have made what was wrong right. And it's not necessarily that making a mistake was wrong, it's how you fix a mistake that is important.
I told Heather to have the confrontation that the car wasn't washed and to not give them the chance or the opportunity to make it
I
right. If
know.
I've ever made someone's order wrong, like I
Mhm.
maybe counted the cookies wrong and there wasn't enough, I want the chance to make it right, to maybe salvage the business relationship. That is what I want as a business owner. So I said to Heather, you can't have the confrontation and never give her the
I
opportunity.
tell you
So
that
when we walk
confrontation, I
in
was like,
there,
hey, quick question. I'm non-confrontational. However,
yeah.
so when I go pick up the car, they were like, okay, here's what you owe. And I was like, oh, I don't think I owe anything. I think I paid it before. And they were
The
like,
problem
oh,
is she remembered. Heather said, "Do you remember me?" And she's like, "Oh, I remember you." Like she had gotten in trouble with her business, I'm sure, for not cleaning the car or whatever. But Heather gave her the opportunity to make it right, and she made it right.
they made it great. And they sent me a text out of 1 to 5, and I gave them a 5.
Yeah.
So that was the resolution for that one. Moving on to the Cookie College. You guys can find all these resources at thecookiecollege.com. We just wrapped our 3D printing bootcamp, meaning if you didn't know how to print a cutter at your house before, now you do. And it was only 2 days worth of courses. And I told people the buzzwords make this sound harder than it is. The buzzwords just mean this complicated thing means this. This means this. Just press print. And then we're printing cutters. Not only are we printing cutters, donated by Cookie Cutters by Nori gave us 3 STL files, and Cookie Design Lab gave every bootcamp attendee a week of Cookie Design Lab to try out their new skills.
Yeah.
We were also able to create our own custom STL files using Cookie Design Lab, and then we went and tried it again in Fusion 360.
Yeah. What a great boot camp. It's $13. You can still sign up for it if you'd like. That one will just, if you're not ordering cutters, the shipping alone is going to pay for it. But I had a customer, boundary buster herself, um, for my YouTube people. She ordered a lacrosse logo, and I was able to use Cookie Design Lab to make her a custom cutter that is going to make her look good to the people on the lacrosse team. And from that, hopefully, ends up in more orders for me. I like to go above and beyond when I know it's for teams, because I know there's a lot of families involved.
We made a cutter in the boot camp, and to print it, I think it was 66 cents.
Wow.
Right. So there is a
Wow.
lot of cost savings, and and I love supporting the cutter shops and still do. The thing that bothers me about ordering physical things is the shipping. It like goes to nobody. Like at least let the cutter shop keep it, but like, I understand we have to pay
Yeah.
into shipment, but it's like, wow, that balloons the cost of this stuff so much, and none of the two parties involved necessarily benefit from it.
Yeah. I want to say, if you had a weed, having the cutter name on the side, the little weed now is to do that.
The
The
big
big
weed
weed
is that.
later is you're gonna have a lot of cutters you do not know what they are. And I'll
That's what
see
I
you in the
always
cookie
see.
cutter identification group.
Bless those groups. So we have our next boot camp coming up. Actually, you guys bullied Corey into this one, and I helped. So 1-2 punch, me and you guys. It's recording cookie videos. So just those simple videos that you guys are like, how do people do them? I struggle with them. I struggle with lighting. I struggle with the stand. I struggle with setup, and I struggle with editing. This is a basic getting started. Corey's going to tell us exactly what she bought that she wouldn't have bought again, what she wished she bought the first time. I think Corey spends a ton of money, so we don't have to. And she's going to show us exactly how she does these. You used to upload them for the cookie class kit, so I've seen your work. It's great.
Yeah, thank you, thank
Now
you.
she's going to do, and I think you're going to add a voiceover and then in some kind of software, and then show us how to upload it.
Yeah, because this is also a sugar cookie marketing, it's going to be some marketing. So we're going to talk about hooks in your video. What's a good hook, different types of videos for your social media. So it's not just the same cookie decorated over and over again. It might be a day in the life, behind the scenes, cookie packaging, and then how we can take that into some software that's easy to use just on your phone, and make that with maybe a voiceover, or we can just have nice music if you need to practice your voiceover. So that's what my goals are.
I told people in the 3D printing bootcamp, we're not getting lost in the sauce of making this really complicated. You feel overwhelmed and then nothing happens. I said, we're
Yes.
keeping this as basic. What I know you can get out the door and have a printer printing a cutter. That's my goal. Then you can
Yeah.
go crazy, go back to the Bamboo website, order whatever add-ons you want. But right now, this is what we need. This is the filament we need. Here's how we're going to load it. Here's what we're going to print.
And I told Heather when I started making videos for us, if it's difficult, I'm not going to do it. So I said, these are the things I need to make it easy so that I actually produce something so it actually ends up on social media. You can have all the stands, all of the equipment, and then if you never use it, you are just as bad as someone who's using just their cell phone. So this will be a cell phone friendly course.
And that's really where we want to get started. And once you get the basics down, you can start judging it up. Once you,
Yeah.
like, I told Corey, because Corey's like, well, I could get really complicated here. I said, with this rug tufting thing, people are talking so complicated. Like, I want to be like, but what glue to use? Like, I know
Yeah.
what glue do I need? Like, it's just there's advanced people and they think, well, I need to teach people this crazy technique here. Oh, we're not even using the word technique, buddy. We're doing fundamentals.
Yeah. Fundies.
The
Fundies.
fundies. We're having fun in the fundies. So our
Ah,
next boot camp is how to record cookie videos. You can sign up at thecookiecollege.com/bootcamp, or you can directly sign up at thecookiecollege.com/bootcamp 5. This will be our 5th boot camp this year. You can go back and purchase the other boot camps if you want. They're always available for repurchasing. It's in-person cookie class was February. In March, we did food photography that sells. April, pre-sale start to finish. May was 3D printing cookie cutters. And June will be cookie video basics. July, we're going to do cracking community groups. July, the J months are the slower months for bakers. Half of the time it's because our clients are out of town, and the other half time is because the baker's out of town. So,
mhm.
cracking community groups, creating a strategy to implement in July, August, and September will really set you up for some leads in our Super Bowl, cookie Super Bowl.
If you like the boot camps, those were actually just a way for you to peek inside what the Cookie College is. So, all the boot camps the Cookie College gets, if you're a Cookie College member, join the boot camp, it goes in your monthly membership, you get that. If you're just trying the boot camp for the first time and you're like, I really like this, it was an easy to digest way, you can actually join the Cookie College and there's a discount at the end of your boot camp stay that you can join for a discounted rate. Heather, I was talking about in my brain today to myself
I'm not
that
gonna.
the Cookie College loves monthly challenges. So that's a group. It's membership based. Once you sign up for the Cookie College, you join this group and we do challenges. They want the challenges to go with what the boot camp's theme is.
Hit me with
So
it.
I thought we're going to have one of the challenges be write a 30-second intro outline and you're going to film yourself. So the first one will be write your outline and have a hook. The
Oh, I
next one will
like
be
that.
like film yourself with saying it in front of the camera and we'll upload them and go through them. And what it's going to do, because I have started with videos a few years ago, the amount of ums that I've been able to train myself to not say that I said so many times at the beginning, it just took practice to be able to talk through the ums and maybe have a little bit of an outline, a little bit of a guide. So when I'm making the videos, I'm thinking about what I want to say so that I can go in. Software now can edit out the ums, which is craziness.
Crazy.
Yeah, so wild. So I thought that would be a good challenge.
I used to manually edit out ums in
Yes.
Premiere Pro, and the splices would just, I'd say to Corey, nobody will know what we've done here. Nobody will
We
know what this sounded like before, but I just need one person to recognize how much work I put in to make this part. My dad
one of our
isn't going.
clients, one of our clients was a Catholic church. We have worked with so many different verticals, it's insane. One was a Catholic church, and he did say ums so much and stop, but Heather edited those out so much so he thought he was like a rock star on camera. He
It
wasn't a
was
rock star.
so hard to do. There's so
Yeah.
many when you film, and I haven't filmed these in a while. I filmed Corey for the boot camps, but she doesn't say much. She actually just does the whole thing straight through. When you film people who have ums or pauses or need to like get their thoughts caught up,
Yeah.
you would splice that out, you cut it out, but to make the video flow so that you don't know that, you put B-roll in
Yes.
front of it. A lot of times when you're watching the murder documentaries, they'll show the town while the person's talking, oftentimes because the person stopped or said something they wanted to take out.
And they need you to not see their face stop and to see the videos like, oh, I think they glitched. No, they edited out a boring part and put in a not so boring part.
Yeah, to fuse somebody's in hand movement, it creates this thing. It's a transition, but it created this jelly-like effect where the person looks like a glitch. So
Yeah.
you, but in that Catholic video, we didn't have any B-roll. It was one of the harder videos I've ever had to edit.
It's because he wanted to stand in a specific place and it was in the sun. That's already harsh, anyways. And if you do talk, we actually spittle a lot
Oh,
while we
I knew
talk.
you were going to bring up the spittle.
and he was spitting while he was talking, and it was hard
Because
to
the
edit out because
sun was
yeah.
reflecting. I had to create a mask layer, but it creates a slight blur. But it was one of the I never want to think about it again. Of course, somebody in the comments is like, "Are you spitting a lot?" Like, there's no can't win for losing. I'm sorry. In July, we're doing community groups. In August, we're doing Procreate. And Corey and I were talking about the rest of the year. We wanted to do Google Business Profile. Corey secured a lead for Coach, and she attributes it strictly to that Google Business Profile listing that they found. I want to do one on newsletters. And what was that other one? We were talking about a couple different options.
We said website or forms was a good one. You had touched on the forms in the pre-sale. We said pricing would be a great one.
And I think we also said something about Canva and kind of creating the
Yeah.
print materials.
Yeah.
So those are our boot camps. You can find that all at thecookiecollege.com/bootcamp, or you can find links to it on sugarcookiemarketing.com or on thecookiecollege.com. And you can always ask, and we are here to help. You have anything else to add?
Nope. Nope.
Boop. Corey's my first 3D printing student, and she was printing off this yesterday morning. What'd you print off yesterday? That?
It is National Police Week. And I thought a handcuff. If you're talking about donations that we had talked about, donating to a cause that you think is important is huge. National Police Week is great. My husband is one. So I said,
He's a police
they
week.
do.
Just kidding. He's a police officer.
Sometimes they actually post their donations to the page. They don't do it as much. So I thought, I know the social media lady, so I'm gonna bake her some cookies.
What a great way to get a charitable donation to work for marketing, because
Yes.
everyone follows the police pages because I want to know the gossip that's going on down the
Yeah.
street. But to have them say, "Hey, here, look, this person donated this," which I see them do quite a bit when the businesses donate like lunch or something.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my goal. At the end, if they are just happy with cookies, thank you for doing your police stuff. But if I can get a little marketing out of it, I really like it.
Moving on to the gossip column, submission one. There's a local baker who doesn't have the cleanest cookies, like they're rushed, sloppy, and weird edges that are never straight. I was fine with her selling her stuff in local groups because she showed exactly what they were getting. Well, she found AI, and AI is making her cookies look better, not just the photos, but changing the look of her cookies. They look picture perfect, and now I know they aren't. They look picture perfect now, but I know they aren't. Just frustrated because I know that what she's making and what she's posting aren't the same thing. Oh, this is rampant.
Oh,
The
yeah. Go ahead.
it is so rampant that now in the sugar cookie marketing group, you get someone saying, "Hey, what's everyone's opinion on AI?" And I have to babysit the thread as if we're back to when the group first started. The opinions of where AI should and shouldn't be used are all over the map. But again, I'm going to tell you guys this. The invisible hand of the market solves a problem. If the baker is producing subpar results and overselling the picture, they will make somebody upset, and that person will go to the community group. I can say this because it's recently happened in our
Yeah.
local community groups.
Yeah.
The foodies group,
Yeah.
but you see this like AI. Then I see the bakers like, well, I only have it change the background. And then someone will be like, no, I think it changed the cookies a little bit. But I'm like, well, I can't see it, but maybe I'm going blind. And then you have people that are having it generate cookies off of their ideas. We're
Yeah.
suddenly, then you have the cutter shops. And I wanted to ask this on the page, but I didn't want to get people riled up. Like, would you buy from a cutter shop that uses AI generated cookies, which they look real to me, but they're not?
Or do you only buy from cutter shops that show like an actual cookie or the ones that just have the graphics? Uh, the thing is, I just want to say, if you're looking over at what the next baker's doing, like I told you, I've divided my life into things I can control and things I cannot control. I cannot control what another baker does. What I can control is what I do. So I take better photos? Am I representing my work the best that I can? Better customer service. You cannot reach over onto their computer and delete their AI image. What they do is what they do. But what you can do is make sure that your business is marketed correctly, that you're showing up for it every single day, that you're creating videos for the algorithms, that your photos look nice and tasty and toasty and delicious.
Clean and bright white. In a way, we're all editing photos. We're all altering images. So
Yeah.
your phone is correcting if you're taking it into Lightroom and adding a filter or a what do you call them, preset, you're altering the
Mhm.
image. You're making the whites whiter, but you're like, but it's white. But no, that's not the original image. But your camera is also altering reality as well. So there's a lot of reality altering going on. AI is a buzzword of the month. Before that, it was Photoshop. Before that, it was XYZ, right? So
Yeah.
now you think of it this way, when you go to McDonald's, what the picture on the menu is not the burger that you're given.
Never seen that burger before in my life.
I wonder what it would taste like. But if you ever want a really interesting thing, go watch food photography from those professional commercial
Yeah.
levels,
Uh-huh.
because you'll see that the cheese is actually not really cheese, and the relish is actually this and that's that, stuff that can last a long time in a photo room, a photo studio.
Yeah. Your goal is to provide the best thing for your customers. If your customers want to see exactly what they're getting, I promise you your business is going to live long and prosper because you're able to replicate that. The bakers who are making things that look like something they are not, their customers aren't dumb. They have eyeballs, and either they'll get a few sales, but those will fall off, and those people will search for a new baker and maybe find you. That's the only thing you can control. But when I see bakers take the time out of their day to throw mud on another baker just because they use something, utilize an Eddie. This was big when Eddie was big. You're taking the artistry out of it. Your
Look at
comment
those
isn't going to
days.
stop them from using Eddie because they've already bought them.
It's
If they
going
have
to
a,
stop you from having the bandwidth to think creatively. Like when you're so focused, I always think of that. What was that? Tim the Toolman Taylor, and you like
yeah.
had the neighbor, and he looked over the fence.
Yeah.
Like, and he was always looking over at what Tim was doing. Like, that's what you're becoming when you're so like AI. And then you go to your page and you're like, to the people who use AI, like, dude, that's not for your audience. Like, that should be an internal thought,
Yeah.
not to
And
your audience.
I saw bakers back when Eddie was getting popular, and this was a couple years ago now. Now it seems like everyone's got one, an edible printer of some sort. People were being like, I'm quitting decorating cookies because people aren't taking the art out of it because they're using an edible. But the only person suffering in that whole equation was you who was quitting.
You're also doing your competitors a little bit of a favor there.
Yeah, but when you're so negatively wound up by what other people are doing, that's all you can see. So you never say like I'm still true to the art or I'm still not using AI. You're so focused on what other people are doing, it's taking away. So is it frustrating? Girl, I'm with you. I've seen it, I to an extent agree. But can you do anything about it? Absolutely not. What you can do something about is your own stuff. Not saying you ask for a gospel column. This was a gossip
Going back
column.
to the gossip column, I saw this TikTok, and it was a man kind of our age, and he's like, my mother has created the ultimate sin. She has AI'd herself. You know, you kind of see the give them prompt. Now I think the
Yeah.
ones put yourself in like a Met Gala dress or something.
Yes.
The other ones were that sparkly dress where you're holding a candy cane.
Yeah. Oh, everyone did that at
Yeah.
Christmas.
And he was like, my mother posted that and took the compliment someone paid her in that photo. And someone was like, I love your outfit. And she was like, thank you so much. And he was like, there's no forgiveness for that. So I can see I can see all sides of it. There's sometimes where I'm like, that's not fair. You didn't do that. I know you didn't do
Yeah.
that. But at the end of the day, the market will correct that.
Yeah.
That I'm Summer told you, and we were supposed to go to Alexandria waterfront to do that
Yeah.
pizza on the water,
Yeah.
and you had a bad attitude, so we never went.
Yeah. I
I
could see that.
saw a TikTok yesterday, and the lady was like, "Every one of you liars that said that pizza was good." She's like, "The view was good, the pizza was terrible."
That you're welcome. You know what? I felt like something in my body.
Yeah, but there you go. Like these TikToks made it look like the
Yeah.
best pizza you've ever had. And the lady went and she was like, it was subpar. She's not going to go back. So just know that the market always corrects that type of
Yes.
behavior. It
Yeah.
always solves it. You can have the best marketing in the world, and then the company shuts down. You're like, oh, that was why it wasn't legitimate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's AI. It's so new. It's still deciding where its place is. Like people are like, I never use it, but then you'll see them like, I need to change this 2025 to 2026 because I'm trying to get some more grad orders.
No,
Are we
I don't
using
want to
it or
wait.
are we not?
Yeah, and it's funny because the kind of before it was like you couldn't even ask a question, but I saw in the local ladies group, someone's like,
Mhm.
those of you who do use AI, how are you using it to help you? What are you using to optimize? And a lot of people had some
Yeah.
really great recommendations.
Yeah.
And then you have the AI, I was reading about closed loop system and open loop systems. That's the problem with AI and the environment argument is the heat produced by these servers, the same way your laptop sat in your lap will produce too much
Yes.
heat.
And
My
warmed up.
phone left in the sun, it'll stop when I'm driving. It'll be like, no more 3D image buildings. Your phone
Yeah.
is too hot. The heat produced by these servers need massive air conditioning units, but the most effective way to dissipate heat is through atmospheric evaporation, right? So it creates the AC, condenses, and then that evaporates. A closed loop system would mean that the evaporation is piped back in, but that's a lot
Yeah.
more expensive.
Oh,
So the
interesting.
sound is the air conditioning systems running to create the evaporation. So there's
Interesting.
impacts there. It's very interesting. An ever evolving world. Maybe it's a bubble and maybe it's the future. But I see more and more regular people using it. So I wonder.
I get my brain thinks this is going to, and I have no idea. Done zero research on it. I think they have let the common man have access to it, and the common man is inputting every aspect of their life. Like, what do I do in this situation? Here's my house payment. How do I get it lower? What are subscriptions I can cancel? And it's collecting all the information from the common person. Now I think they're going to go to a paid structure, like
Yes.
you get,
Or an
like
advertising
Canva did.
structure.
Yeah,
Chat GPT.
PT. Grade point
PT.
average is how I
I
think
was
of it.
doing a goalpost T, but it
It's
clearly
not working
doesn't.
for you. So
No.
change to grade point average.
Grade point average. Um, the chat is implementing ads. It's a non-profitable company, and it's interesting to see just how unprofitable it is versus the valuation uh, of it.
But that's why I think you can't. So Facebook wasn't a big advertiser. Now it's a huge advertisement platform that just happens to have your life update. But it's like an advertising platform, not what you
For
thought
as
it was.
for as neato burrito as AI can be, I also for every bonus, for every positive, I find a negative. So the car that I have is piped through my phones, which is Android Auto. Maybe you
Yeah.
Apple people have it, but Android Auto, I can press this button and talk to the car to find the Lee's Burger place. I do it all the time,
Yes.
Blue Ridge. So I go to press it, and it was like, "Hey Heather." I'm sorry, what? I just tell me what to play. It's like, "Hey Heather, interesting that you like that. Would you like to talk about some of the menu options? Just ask." Like, no. So like while it's talking to me, trying to
Yeah.
have a conversation, I have to click cancel so it stops talking so I can get to the navigation.
Mine, I was like, I can't say it. I was like, because she's right here. I said, add sugar to my shopping cart. She's like, you guys about to bake something up crazy over
No,
there?
it's not what we want right now.
I don't know.
Yeah, just really funny. I had an issue with one of the cats, so I was like, well, a vet's so expensive, but AI is free right now. Here, let's burn down one rainforest while asking some questions. And it was like, you really, really need to go to the vet. And I was like, I actually think you're being too aggressive with vet recommendations. And it was like, you know what? Smart of you to push back here. I saw this
That's
TikTok, last
yeah,
TikTok I'm going to reference.
yeah.
But this guy it was comparing AI to cutting a sandwich. So it's like he was in a Subway and he was like, yeah, now just cut it in half. But it was cutting it half long ways. It was cutting it in half middle ways. Like it was doing everything wrong, but he kept having to get it to cut it truly in half like you'd cut a sandwich. So finally at the end, the AI gets that he's supposed to cut it in half, but instead of moving the knife, it moves the sandwich.
Yeah. It's like just left of center. Like you're just
You're
left
fine.
of
It's like
center.
must be like having a teenager. Like you're let's just have the neuron
Yeah.
fire one more time. Come on. Okay, moving to upcoming events. Very interesting gossip topic. People, thank you. The Main Street collab is next week. Corey, are you going to take some photos? Or are we going to go to invite me to something?
I have found the logo of Bourbon and Fig, and it's gold and girl. So
Yeah, girl, gets you some left to dust.
I thought so. I will do the Bourbon and Fig, the B and F, and they have this little plant. It must be a bourbon or fig, a bourbon plant.
Wait, one of those around the house. Stab.
Yeah, one of the plants.
In the fig barrel. You can throw that away. You can pour that in the sink.
What it is, sorry. What the Main Street Cookie Collab is. Sorry, I got the giggles. What the Main Street Cookie Collab is a marketing way to get your business out there. We're getting into the J months, which is the summer months. You'll feel business to be a little slower. So how can we zhuzh it up and become one, a resource to our audience, two, create a relationship with some corporate people out there, and three, get some content that's worth commenting on and sharing on, not just, hey, I sell cookies. Hey, buy my cookies. And that's what this Main Street Cookie Collab is.
Then
Take
the
it over.
next one, and I went super easy on you guys. I didn't make you pipe a specific cookie. It's just going to be a selfie of you holding any cookie for the June Meet the Baker collab. It is the most attended collab. It's because it's the easiest collab, but we're putting it in July June, I'm sorry, because it's a J month and that's a slower time. It's a good time to reconnect with your audience, and people love faces.
Yeah, and I saw as I really am pulling from the relationship bucket in 2026, your face does a lot because people want to buy from someone they know and they can only get to know you if they see you. So that's why it's a great one to do. And me and Heather even suggest doing Meet the Baker quarterly. As you're marketing your business, you're growing it with new people. People come and go. You end up in some feeds, you don't end up in others. It's a great content bucket to pull from.
If you posted a selfie every day, I think people are like, whoa. But if you
Yeah.
never posted a selfie, I also think people will be like, oh, that's what you look like. So it is
Yeah.
that if you ever look up heat maps of websites that track eyes, you know, I can't help it. I can't help it. I look at other eyes. Eyes look at eyes. We cannot help eyes. I
Yeah.
want to look at your eyes. So if you look at the heat maps of those websites, our eyes naturally gravitate towards a part of the website where there is an eye. And that's what we're doing here as well. You get the engagement of the other bakers. We're going to do three facts you don't know about me. That'll be very easy to respond to. But your audience will also learn more about you as well. So Corey, start thinking of your three facts.
Question for you about the Main Street collab. Okay, I was thinking Bourbon and Fig because it's a new hot place. But yesterday when I was at Archer's orthodontist, by the way, he gets his braces off in December. Crazy.
No way. Wow.
Yes.
That's always fun.
The doctor there, who I've actually made videos on and shouted him out in local groups, personally thanked me. He said, "Thank you so much for posting me in the local groups. It really helps my business. Should I do one for his business? Because he's
Oh,
so
and
thankful."
not the bourbon and fig. No,
And
if you want
not
the engagement, the bourbon and fig one gets so much engagement because so many people are happy with the service there.
Here is the plus side to both. Bourbon and
Yeah.
Fig, brand new, not many people know about it. The plus side to the ortho guy, he's been there for 40 years. Many people know about it. So you would get comments on both. One would be like, "Oh, I didn't know," but the other one would be like, "Oh, my kids went there 40 years ago for their braces."
Orthodontist snooze fest. Boring.
It
Hate
is
it.
boring. You
Yeah.
just want to go to get food.
Yeah, here's the thing about bourbon and fig. The people who have gone seem to love telling everyone about it. The people who
Yes.
haven't gone would be interested in it. Everyone likes food, not everyone needs
Fine.
braces.
We'll have to do another Main Street so I can do my guy before
Yeah.
I get the
Okay, listen, the
braces off.
collabs are there to guide us, but do as many as you want, big girl.
No, no, I
You
like
can
an
go to every
exclusive.
ortho and do it. You
They've
don't have
ordered
to not do
they
it.
order cookies from me, and that's why I like the
Okay, yeah. So
ortho.
I would probably feature them the next time they order cookies from you. No,
I
not
told him
feature.
I'd do a big video on Archer getting his braces off
You
since
know
it'll
what?
be a
December, you know what
forever.
we did in November last year, the collab, the
When?
thank you cookie collab, where you went and took somebody's photo holding a thank you cookie. You could do it then if we were
That's a
to redo
nice
that collab.
one. That's a nice one.
Okay,
I
so
like that.
now the November's spoken for collab, guys. You heard it here first.
Orthodontist only collab.
Upcoming events, the Cookie Con Happy Hour, which felt so long ago, but is right around the cookie. It's right around the corner.
It's right around the cookie.
It's right around
It's
the
right
cookie.
around the
It's right
car.
around the cookie corner. Cookie Con Happy Hour, hosted by Heather Campbell Berkshire, who is a Disney trip planner, meaning Orlando is Cookie Con. I see if you were on the fence about Cookie Con, they're starting that resale where people are like, oh, I can't go after all because they
Mhm,
bought their tickets
mhm.
back in February. Now you have those people who are like, I'm willing to sell this and I'm willing to sell it for cheaper than I bought it for. A lot of times the people selling tickets are also willing to give up a room.
The
But I
best
see
thing
people
about
looking
a
for roomies.
Yeah, the best thing about a Disney trip planner is that they are not paid through you. It's a free service to you. They are paid through Disney. So it is the best bang for the buck. When I first, before I knew Heather Campbell Brookshire,
I
went
was
to
like,
Disney
we've
with,
known each other since -9 months.
yeah, no, I had a Disney trip planner when me and Heather and Archer went back in the day.
You almost have to have
Yeah, I would not
one.
know what I was doing without it.
Right. So Heather Campbell Berkshire is hosting it's a Cookie Con Frappy Hour.
Yeah.
They had a coffee shop this time. And that'll be June 24th. The details are that. Go to Sugar Cookie Marketing Facebook group, click on events, and she's actually posting weekly updates on things you need to know, things you can plan for about Cookie Con. She's a
Yeah,
big Cookie Conner. She has been on TV, and she is probably the most Disney adult person I've ever met in my life. She has a
she,
monorail dress.
yes, she does. And
She should wear
Disney ears
that.
for just about everything.
She should wear the monorail dress to the Frappy Hour.
She
So
should.
more information there if you need to contact her. The Vendy Blendy is in 28 weeks, which felt farther away, but now it feels closer. I don't know why.
It
Because I have to
does.
start
20,
planning it in the summer.
it's because it's an even number. When it's an odd
Mm.
number, like 21 feels
27
distant.
will feel
20,
farther away than
yeah, it
28
feels
feels
far
closer.
away.
Major holidays that are upcoming. We just passed Mother's Day. Congratulations to those of you who are mothers. Graduation is in 4 weeks. This is location dependent. Same with last day of school. I know some of you guys kind of go into deep in June.
Yeah, the school system here, the public school
I
system,
saw that
June
uproar.
15th.
They said
Yeah.
next year Loudoun County will be June 22nd, and some lady said, I will move if my kids have to go to school. I'd like to see you move. Graduation last day of school, 4 and 5 weeks away. Father's Day is 6 weeks away. I just did the best-selling bake spread on Father's Day. If you want to see some
Yeah.
alleged, it's better seller than Mother's Day because the
Can
mothers are
confirm.
purchasing
Better
the
seller than
fathers.
Mother's Day. Yeah.
Summerween, 7 weeks. It's actually our cookie class kit as well. Summerween is Halloween in the summer. It's a trendy, not an established holiday, but it's a good, neat way. You guys could do pre-orders for Halloween, or if you place your Halloween order in what is it, June 27th, you could get a discount or something like that. Or it's just another excuse to put Halloween content out there.
You're gonna find your Halloween little haunts are gonna sign up for the cookie class because they're out there. We're out there. Halloween lovers are out there. We're just waiting for the summer to end.
Yeah. After that is the 4th of July, which is the middle of summer. That is 8 weeks away. So if you haven't ordered your cutters or you did not take the 3D printing boot camp, you'd want to do that now. We're kind of close.
Yes.
I is fine. 4th of July is the platter holiday because people are getting together at events. You could bring a platter of
A DIY kit's good.
DIY kits,
Yeah.
get those kids out of your hair until 8 p.m. It's the
Yes,
America's 250th birthday.
it is. It
So it'll
is.
be a
I think it'll be
bigger.
bigger, more celebrated than it is in other because you have. So I saw Kaleida Cuts has a 250 cutter that she came out with, and I thought that was cute.
I think there'll be more events around it and thus more of a hoopla.
A hoopla.
Hoopla. I live in West Virginia now where they have illegal Virginia fireworks. Who knows what I'm in for?
Oh, and you live right across the street from a big old firework play.
I could be smuggling across enemy lines a little bit of them illegalers, them illegal fireworks, which you could call in to the police in Virginia. Um, Moving on to the STL Me About It segment. Thank you so much for Cookie Design Lab as a sponsor of this segment, which means whoever gets picked from the texting questions can win a month of Cookie Design Lab, that STL software. If you're already a member of Cookie Design Lab, she can actually tack it on to the end of your
Yes.
membership. If you do not win this week, use code TWINS for 15% off. I know they have a 5-day plan or a yearly plan. The annual plan is cheaper. Or if you sign up to get that boot camp about 3D printing, you can still redeem that 1 week of Cookie Design Lab, which, makes that a very cheap boot camp for you. And you can do that until May 31st, 2026. So, Corey, we have 3 texting questions. They're all pretty hefty. Oh, 4 texting questions. They're all pretty hefty.
Number 4.
Number 4 is actually Amy Salek. She actually emailed this one and I had to read it because she referenced my Twinterest. So Amy,
Oh,
if you don't have Cookie Design Lab, email me back. Same email address. I'll get you hooked up. Hi, Heather. Thanks for mentioning Michael Girdley on the recent podcast. I just looked up his videos on YouTube based on your recommendations and they're great. I also listen to Ramit. That's the finance guy, Money for Couples. I also listen to Ramit, and he is good too. Here are 2 other similar ones I enjoy that you might like if you haven't already listened to them: Business Wars and the Economics of Everyday Things. If you have any other podcast or YouTube suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Thanks, Amy. I'll
oh,
look those
nice.
up. I'll trade you 2 more. One channel I've been listening to. Just so everyone knows, if you have YouTube Premium, your rates are about to raise on May 14th. I've been Old Money Luxury. It's not what you think. I was watching the Wawa history. And Wawa is a privately owned company and has been around. It started in New Jersey as a metal thing, and then they moved it into cow and dairy operations. But when the refrigerator came out, they were doing a daily dairy delivery. Yeah,
Interesting.
and Wawa, do you know what a Wawa is? It's an indigenous word for goose, and that's why their logo is the
Ah, I
goose.
had no idea.
Now you know. And now I'm going to be listening at lunch today to Smucker's Family History.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I was listening to Cartier. That one was
Yeah.
really interesting, and how the he was a broke guy, just impoverished, and just really liked studying how light moves through glass. Got into metallurgy, got into diamond manufacturing, and his 3 sons were so business focused that one took over North America, one took over Europe, and one took over the British Empire to produce these just extravagant. They said the Maharaja of India placed an order through Cartier for something that was 1 billion rupees, which would have been valued at $2 billion today, a piece of jewelry.
Wow.
Just fascinating.
That's
And then it all, within a
mind-boggling.
hundred years, they lost it all to a company because the grandkids didn't want to run it.
Wow.
All right.
Interesting.
So that was a thank you, Amy. You can email me. You know my email address since you emailed that one. Thanks for listening. Michael Girdley was the one I've been listening to. He does the rise and fall of businesses. Oftentimes he's standing in front of them. That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
We have another text in, not a winner, but forever in my heart. Number one, San Angelo, Texas. Hi, twins. If I wanted to create an additional blog post on my website about the businesses I feature in the Main Street collab, what info would you suggest I add, or how could I change it so it doesn't come across as a copy and paste from my IG post? Or is that even a good idea? I love you both, and I can't choose a favorite twin, Kelsey from Texas.
Kels, you're so sweet. When it comes to blog posts, you're going to want to make a beefier blog post than what an Instagram caption can handle. What we're going to do is answer the questions people would have. Imagine someone types into AI and says, "Where should I go to get my son's braces in the Woodbridge area?" That's what we're going to focus on. You're going to go to this place because this reason and this reason, pricing's around this reason. They offer financing. You can have your, and that's what we're going to answer with the Main Street, especially if you're turning it into a blog post. Now, if you're just doing it and you're listening to it, I'm like, I'm just doing it on Instagram for the collab. This doesn't pertain to you. A blog post, we're trying to answer the question so that when someone searches something, we end up in that search.
So you may think what Kelsey's doing is very strategic in terms of SEOs. You may think, well, Kelsey is featuring a business. Why would anyone care that she's a cookie baker features a business? What she's
Yeah.
doing is creating a relationship in Google between a keyword that's hyper local and the fact that she is also hyper local. So it's creating an association that this San Angelo, Texas restaurant is near Kelsey the baker, who's a San Angelo, Texas baker. And that
Mhm.
relationship, it also drives traffic. It also can be indexed, shows that her website's active. There's a lot of benefits to it. And also it creates content. So now her Instagram post, she can actually create the blog post and link to that on Facebook or send it out in her newsletter, where it might be weird to link to an Instagram post. It would make a ton of sense for us to link to a blog post. So she's taking a small piece of content and she's really squeezing the juice out of it.
And that's smart because your marketing is a spider web. It's not just one avenue. It all works together. So if your blog post can be posted to social media and people from social media go to your website, you're indicating to Google that your website is valuable. It's content that was added. They will crawl it and they'll index it, and your website becomes beefier and more powerful in the search engines.
Yeah, so it'd be natural for a business featured on Instagram to easily reshare it to their Instagram profile,
Yeah.
but it would be more natural for a business featured in a blog posted to Facebook to share that blog post on their Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah, no, smart. You're working smarter there, my friend.
Another text from 713 area code. Hi, ladies. I wanted to comment on one of those texts from last week. When someone ghosts you, I know it's easy to assume that the reason is the price. However, I follow up every time for orders I can still take. 50% of the time I win the sale with my follow up. They often say something about forgetting or losing track of time. I don't know about you, but hashtag same. I lose track all the time and forget all of the time in my personal life. For these 50%, it was never an issue of price. Assuming it's always a pricing issue is doing your business a disservice and putting words into your customer's mouths. Max, stop it. Create a follow up template and send that baby over and see what happens. Worst case, still a no. Best case, you get the sale and you can go roll in the green dough while rolling in the cookie dough. Thank you so much, whoever that is that texted that in.
Yeah, that was like our topic last week, thinking for your clients. It must be the price why they ghosted me instead of thinking on behalf, like, as your client. I was busy and I forgot who I reached out to. So I hope they reach out again.
When you have pricing fear, you look through a pricing lens at everything. So every rejection becomes in your head, well, it must be I'm too expensive, which puts you in a natural state to say, let me discount. Remember,
Especially
you're
because
planting bad weeds.
yeah, we started this whole bakery business because we looked at the price of someone else and said, that's too expensive. I think I can do it myself. We're always going to have pricing in the back of our mind because we are cheaper people. That's why we became sugar cookie bakers. But we realize that we have to realize that we're putting that on other people who are like, I never wanted to become a baker. The price is the price. I just
I had to tell you
want
this
to do
anecdotal
it.
story. I'm a Yappertunist, right? So I joined these rug tufting groups, but I see these similar questions from bakers like, hey, nobody's buying. So this guy said, nobody's buying my rugs. Uh, I'm the cheapest out there and still nobody's buying them. So I just took the opportunity and I said, would you buy the cheapest car for sale in your area, or would you think something was wrong with it? And he was like, no, he clapped back and was like, no, I wouldn't because I'd buy, and I said, he said, I'd buy the cheapest rug. And I said, you wouldn't though. In fact, you wouldn't buy the cheapest rug so much that you actually learned how to make it. So you didn't have to buy it. And he was like, well, I guess. And I was like, just try raising it a little bit so you're not seeing it. He had really high quality rugs, tufted rugs. I can
Yeah.
speak as a consumer. And I was like, you're priced so low that it makes it seem like there's an issue somewhere. If there's not an issue in quality, there's an issue in production. Am I not even going to get the rug? I sent Corey, it's so funny. I saw this, I'm in these car groups specifically for the Acura Integra, and this guy got an Acura Integra pillow. It was kind of cute. And someone was like, hey, can I get the link to buy this? And he was like, here's the link. It was AI generated. It looked like a car turned into a pillow. Like it was
Yeah.
so perfect. It was $25. And I sent Corey a picture and I was like, how could he believe that $25 would buy a pillow that looked like a representation perfectly
Yeah.
of his car?
It honestly looked like someone had made a wheel out of like fluff and had put on that wheel. It was perfectly shaped wheel, like fluff doesn't even do that. Like whatever's in a
No, it was so
stuffed
funny.
animal.
And his comment was like, this is what I ordered. I didn't get what I thought I was going to do, but it was like good enough. But I sent it to Corey and Corey's like, oh, I saw that ad as well.
The thing is, he was willing to risk the $25. He'll never buy from them again. You have businesses like that, like they just churn and burn. They take the clients, take the money, and then they'll be like, we'll never see them again.
But I said at $25, he should have known he wasn't going to get that. So I wonder if the
Yes.
rug guy could translate. Being the cheapest rug is not actually an effective pricing strategy in terms of online trust.
Yeah. It's like those people who order from Shein or Temu, and it would be like they thought they were going to get a wreath for their door, but instead it's this curtain with a door and a wreath on it.
Printed on it. I saw that exact thing. It was so funny. That was a great text, 713. Thank you so much for reminding us. It's not always price objections. It is definitely just busy. I find myself constantly saying, oh, shoot, I forgot to get back to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
260 area code in the final one. Hey twins, I love the podcast. I have a cookie business in Indiana and I recently posted and a recent post of mine received hundreds and hundreds of likes and comments, way more than normal because a customer took the cookies to Texas and it was for a local university there. While I love all the attention, likes and comments, I'm now getting a ton of followers from Texas and I can't ship there and serve these clients. Do you have any suggestions in the Main Street collab? I know for how to increase my local following more now that I've had this huge influx of non-local followers.
So you could always go through your follower count and remove the people from Texas who have followed you. But if they're willing to throw you likes and engage with your content, that's great. The problem with them being so distant from you, they have no relationship with you. So you're just another account that they're following. And when you're not posting about Texas, they're going to fall off your engagement ratios right there. So what you might want to do is remove them as followers or say, hey, welcome. If you're here, glad to have you. It means a lot if you see my post to like it, even if you're from Texas, my new Texas people.
I probably
Um,
post more reminders that you're an Indiana baker and you can't ship. What's going to happen is they're going to naturally fall off as well. So
yeah,
people who come from trends, they kind of drop off pretty quickly. Or their bot accounts and they get thrown off pretty quickly. It is slightly frustrating, especially when you're limited to an area and you're
yeah.
getting non-followers. But like Corey said, and engagement is great. They'll not naturally drop off and then you can always manually remove. But I would spend this time right now definitely posting reminders that you're an Indiana baker.
Yeah, you can't ship but thank them for being there. And if the answer is no unless you ask, hey, I feel like I got some Texas people here. I know I can't ship to you, but if you like and comment on my stuff, you're helping this Indiana mom, send her kids to camp, just putting it out there.
I like that. I do like that one, kind of just drawing attention to like, hey, I know I
Yeah.
can't help you guys, but you guys can help me. And I really appreciate having you here.
Yeah.
I'd like to be thanked.
Likewise.
The printer is running some massive updates. I hope nobody can hear that. I hope Zoom is blending it
Cannot
out.
hear it on my end,
If I
friends.
could
Cannot.
unrecommend a printer, it would be Brothers Printers.
I think there's a podcast where you recommend it.
I do.
And
And I'm so sorry if you listen to that and you
yeah,
bought them time and in and out.
yes.
It's not a bad printer. They have so it was printing terribly. I've had to print a lot of stuff recently and now it's caught up. The printer's doing better. The cartridges are cheaper. They have an interesting subscription program where I pay
Don't try to
per.
walk it back. You just
It just
lambasted
wasn't, it
brothers.
doesn't print consistently good.
Yeah,
It
no.
prints
When we went to Cake
inconsistently.
What's Popping Con,
That's
there
what's
was a
righted the
line,
ship is those massive amounts of
a
prints.
line on every page had like gone. It was like straight through
Uh-huh.
the center
You
twice.
have to get the print head clean, but you can't get to the print head yourself. The printer has to clean it itself, which takes away from my one page print I get.
Oh, that's Pinterest. I see what they did there.
And
I
then they
see what
said,
they did. We'll
girl.
get her coming and going.
Yeah, girl. Our sponsors, thank you so much for our sponsors. We actually have a new sponsor coming, but I have to reach out to them. I'm so sorry. I'm getting through. Cookie Design Lab code twins is 15% off. Bakety Bake, the meringue powder that you'll fall madly in love with if you try it, is 10% off with code twins. Daisy Makes, Daisy Makes, I'm in the Daisy Makes group. They released a collab with somebody named Katie for
Yeah.
this interesting shape that sold out immediately. Do you know why people wanted it so badly?
No, I don't know.
They said it was like a tapered egg shape and people just wanted it and people were trying to buy it off of other
It
people who made
looked
it.
like a cake sickle to me. Am I
Oh
correct in
yeah, but
that?
I think it was a better size.
Oh, maybe that.
People really wanted
Cakesicles
it.
are heavy, so if you can get them slightly less heavy, they'll stay on the sticks. I don't know. I tried Cakesicle once and I wanted to die. So,
Code twins gets you a discount at Daisy Makes Primera Eddie, the edible printer we keep talking about here in the podcast. That is a direct to food printer. They don't run a sale. If you go to a group called Unofficial Eddie Group on Facebook, you can find them pretty used. I saw somebody is the lowest price I've ever seen it sold at 1600 used.
wow.
You don't get, if you
Wow.
buy from Eddie directly, you get the warranty, you get the
Yeah.
training stuff. So there is that rest assured guarantee there, but you can always buy them used as well in those
Yeah.
unofficial groups.
Eddie has been great for corporate, for adding backgrounds, not having to invest in so many stencils, which stencils are like you got to airbrush, you got to clean your airbrush, it gets clogged, like guaranteed to be clogged at least twice in your life. You cry guaranteed 5 times with that. So that the Eddie has definitely fixed
The
my
biggest
teeth.
thing I see, Eddie is not cheap. It's $3,000, right? That's just a huge chunk of change. They do have financing options, but there's an interest rate there. But a lot of times I see that Eddie pays for himself with 3 corporate orders,
Yeah.
which you couldn't
Yeah.
take without the Eddie. So it's that chicken or the egg thing, chicken or the Eddie
Yeah.
thing.
Chicken or the
Bosch
Eddie.
Nutrimil is a code sugar cookie saves you $20. Definitely check out that see-through bowl.
Yeah, yeah, I would be curious. I can't confirm nor deny if I like it or not.
I'll be curious, also if people liked it.
Yeah, maybe someone will do a reveal or something or a video review.
We would like you guys to spend your money and tell us if you like
Yeah,
spend your
please.
money.
Thank you.
To interest, Corey, you have here the Dick's Sporting Good app.
Oh yeah. This year I've been aiming to get 10,000 steps a day. It's gone fairly well. There's a few days maybe I've missed, but I made it up on other days.
They're not normal
If
steps.
you
Corey's running through the mall. She invited me to get some steps in. They're not steps, they're gallops. I said, you've got to slow down. I'm breaking a sweat.
Yeah, I know. But so since January, I've been able to hit it almost every single day, maybe save 5 that I've hit 10,000 steps. The Dick's Sporting Goods app. Yes, you're selling your information to them, but aren't we all on every app that we are? If you download Dick's Sporting Goods app, pair it with either your Fitbit, your Apple Watch, or something that keeps track of your step count. You can actually earn points up to $30 a year. Every 100 points you get 3 points a day. You can either earn it by being 30 minutes active, 10,000 steps, and the last one I can't remember, but there was 3 ways to earn 3 points a day. But if you like to get athleisure clothing or, your kids are growing through their shoes fairly fast, you can add to your Dick's Rewards points by just doing what you normally do.
Walk to the Dick's Sporting Goods store
Yes. And then
and
get
get stuff for
new
free.
shoes that you
Walk them
need because you
home.
walked to the store.
I have had a couple of things of interest. I was thinking the Twin Intellect, thought was interesting, those documentaries. Well, I had something I referenced earlier and I said I'll get down to it in the.
Oh yeah, you did. The Juniper Galaxy, something like
Oh
that.
yeah. So my first one is the cats. My older sister said this guy's named Jackson Galaxy's on YouTube. He's a cat guy. Like that's his whole entire life is cats, cat behavioralist is what he called himself. He says if you follow this method, the Jackson Galaxy method of introducing 2 new cats, your cats will always get along. And it was
Is
interesting.
he a bald man with a black beard?
I don't think so. I think he was like had blondish hair, but I don't remember.
Okay.
He could have been. He could have been. I don't remember. I was just letting
Okay.
him play
Okay.
in the
Okay. Okay.
background as I
Okay.
was frantically separating the cats. The method is you keep one cat in one room, one cat in the other, and you scent swap. They said scent equals buddies. So you let a cat sleep on a like a blanket, and then you put that in the other cat's room. You'd never let these cats see each other. Then you start feeding both cats between an opaque door. So the one cat's eating on the bottom of this door, the other cat's on the other side of the door eating that way, just so that because they were like food is like everything to a cat. So them being safe enough to eat around each other without the threat that the cats are going to cross contaminate. Then you create a physical barrier that they can see through. So it could be like netting or it could be a fence or something like a baby gate that they can kind of, and then you introduce them. So I've
Do
walked
you
it back.
feel like your cats aren't getting along?
I feel like the Munch is constantly tackling Bean, but Bean is immediately falling on his back because he wants to wrestle, but Munch is like so aggressive. He's not biting him, but he's making weird noises. He's fixed, so not what you think. But
Like like
I'm
growling?
gonna try to do it.
Okay.
Just, but all on top of this little cat. But always
Oh,
around like,
I
and I said, "Are you biting him?" So I stuck my hand in between it. No, he's just resting his face on the hair of the little guy.
weird.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
you can't walk that back. I think you already
You're
did the
walking it. No,
damage.
no, the Jackson Galaxy guy said you can walk it back. We're walking it back. He said you should walk it back. Give me hope. Another one I saw on TikTok. I thought this was interesting for both of us. The Hit Pan Challenge, but it's a monthly challenge where you take products from each category, so skin, hair, face, nails, or whatever. You
Sure.
get one product that you kind of like decently like, but not enough to hit pan on, and you have to use it in a month.
I do that already with my face stuff.
But not stuff you like, stuff you don't like.
Oh, I've been because I'm trying not to buy stuff. I've
Yes.
been going through my hate stuff like
Yeah. So the
incessantly.
challenge is, and some people are trying to use it up in a month, but if it's not, they said at the end of the month, switch it out for something else within its category that you're also not using so you can stay interested.
I think that's a great idea. I used to be the person that if I like something, I got two of it. Nair, that does that need to happen? You only need one of it because the other one will one expire while it's waiting to be used up, or it takes up storage. So then you're like look like a hoarder.
I
But
find myself trying to say at Walmart, like Walmart is a storage place. Walmart is my storage closet.
yes,
Walmart, like if I like this a lot, I can literally, it's 2 minutes away. I can go back and get it
the
when I'm
problem when they do
done.
BOGOs and they try to gotcha
BOGOs
on
and a
the
discount
sale.
sale, especially Sephora's Sephora runs a 20% off sale 2 times a year if you have somebody with the
Rouge,
Rogue, the Rogue,
rouge.
the Rouge. So our little sister has Rouge. Do you do it? I don't
No, I
have.
haven't. I fell out of graces. I have not bought from Sephora that much.
So our little sister spends way too much money, but I'll go through her, which you're allowed to, I think, to get the 20% discount. But I
Yeah.
do stock up there, but I try not to stock up too much because I know the next sale comes in end of November.
There's two sales they run that
Uh-huh.
20% off.
That
So
gets
you
me. The limited 2 times a year sales. If they ran sales all the time, I wouldn't be stockpiling.
they do run sales all the time, just not on everything.
Right. I wanted the 20% off. They never run it on the things I like. So Corey's like, you bought a lot, but I want to say all of the things I bought were things I've used and reused often. So it's nothing, I tried nothing out with that sale.
Heather, I know you don't need new perfume. I know that
I
for a
didn't buy any.
factoid.
I didn't buy
No,
any.
you had us all bring our perfume so you could shop our perfumes to buy
Yeah.
a new
Do you
perfume.
know which one I bought? None.
Why did we do the whole
And you know, we
exercise?
bought some. Ashley went out and bought some immediately. Really, I just wanted to see what everyone liked to smell like. Because what is life? There's only so much you can talk about.
Yeah, girl with no
Behave.
couch for her granny to sit on.
Oh yeah, my grandma's coming to the house with no chairs, so find a standing room only.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Your listens help this keep on going. You supporting the sponsors help them keep on going. And we love when you text in, you have a gossip column, something like that. It just keeps us going. It keeps us chatting.
Parasocial relationships. We love you guys like we love our cousins.
We do, and we love them a lot, but not for a discount when they order.
Bye, Corey.